The day after the job, you sleep that day. I'm assuming those of you that still need sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Drive
That's
back.
for physical.
Yeah. Those of you that have damage, feel free to roll your recovery. You will get a 24-hour rest.
I guess stun damage is gone. Or should I roll?
Now, stun damage is gone after night's sleep. I'm never really worried about that one. I mean, in theory, you could quickly glitch and it become permanent, but... Okay. So you get your 24 hours rest in the safe house. If anyone needs medicine or magical healing's already been done. If anyone needs medicine, I believe Wayfarer has a few points in that. The day after, you'll head back to your homes. You turn the safe house back over to its owner, and you call the Johnson, and he arranges to meet you at the golf club again.
Ah, great. I'm sending a message to everyone. Hey, we're supposed to meet our Mr. Johnson at the golf club again.
Yeah, let's go get paid. Also, Lycan, you want to meet our Johnson?
Yeah, I'll call.
I ask for specific directions as I have
Oh,
not been
right.
to the golf club before.
Right. It's probably best we meet up at, I guess, the Copper Horse. That's where all of you hang out anyway. And
Yeah.
then go there together.
Sure. Also, Lycan dress.
Sure.
Okay.
So we're supposed
If you-
to dress nicely for this golf club meet.
Oh, yes. It's a fairly high-class establishment. It's actually on extraterritorial grounds of, I believe it was Neonet.
Right.
Am I correct about Neonet?
I think
Yep.
so.
Well, technically Transys Neuronet, but Neonet is now,
Yeah, they merged or bought up or whatever.
Novatech, Transys, and Erica merged to form Neonet. That may well be changing soon, but at the moment, yeah.
Though Banshee shouldn't drive motorcycle again with a suit.
Yeah, not again.
Just get yourself a nice one of those suits that clean themselves. What are they called? You know how they're called, Venice?
It's a scout tuxedo.
Yeah, one of those.
They are
Um,
available in multiple fashion styles and also as dresses and stuff. So you can
I'll buy it
have
eventually.
You can probably get one that looks like a dirty overall if you want. It would always look the same kind of dirty.
No, thank you.
I was more towards cat.
Yeah, really funny. You best keep the cologne for yourself this time, though.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. Good, thank you. that
No,
reminded me.
no. Get away, Venus. Last thing I need is more of that awful cologne.
You try
Yeah.
that again, and I'll turn into a skunk and spray your face.
Yeah, it's not that important today. Still dress nicely.
Okay, so everyone's putting on their fancy duds and heading over to the golf club.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
The meeting is again at lunchtime. So you get there and there's the usual crowd of middle-aged men who are slightly overweight going around the golf club. There's several walking out of the main entrance to go and tee off as you go. The same two bodyguards are stood by the door, and it's the same girl who was sat at the entrance. She sees you coming. She recognizes you all. Looks you all up and down. Well, she doesn't recognize Lycan because it's Lycan's first time, but she looks the rest of you up and down. Notes that you are dressed better or the same as you were before, and just waves you in. She knows who you're waiting for or who you're going to see.
Oh, thank you.
This time, Mr. Johnson is waiting for you in the clubhouse bar area. He is sat in a corner table. He has a drink. Those of you with any olfactory boosting or any ability to recognize alcohol, it looks like a whiskey. No ice, no water, no nothing, because you don't adulterate scotch with any of those. It's just a tumbler with a fingerful of whiskey sat on a table. He has a cigar on the go, and there is a security guard, another one dressed the same as the others, without the sunglasses, stood about 4 meters away, trying to do his best impression of a potted plant.
I do my best to ignore the bodyguard and greet Mr. Johnson. Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. So nice to see you again.
Indeed, Venus, indeed. I trust you had a successful operation.
Oh yes, I would indeed say so.
Okay, Lycan, give me a visual perception.
I thought so. Yes.
That guy is awfully informed about us. He knows our name now.
I know everything.
Well,
is
you
my
can
visual?
solve this
What
problem
is my visual?
if you're armed.
Don't forget, if you're wearing your contacts, you get.
Oh, one hit. Oh, I liked it better before, actually. I only got one hit.
Okay. I'll give you. You do notice a fairly familiar symbol that's built into it.
Right.
A symbol that you are intimately familiar with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try
So-
to keep low profile.
Give me a memory
A
test.
memory test coming up. Still can't find my way around this.
You'll get used to it.
I should practice sometime. Where's my memory? Why is it not in my attributes?
It's
Logic plus intuition or willpower, maybe.
willpower.
Is it logic plus willpower? That makes no sense, cycle. No, so logic plus willpower. One hit.
Okay. The face is vaguely familiar. You can't place it, but you think you might have met this guy before in passing.
Okay.
Anyone who does a judge intentions will not see him notice Lycan because that's what he does. He's very good at poker faces.
I'm also still wearing that respirator. Maybe he doesn't really recognize me.
Oh yes, you're wearing a fashion respirator right now, aren't
Yeah, I am.
you? Okay. Mr. Johnson makes small talk for 10 or 15 minutes and says, so would you ladies and gents like some lunch? The kitchen here is most excellent.
Oh, that would be lovely.
I could
Yeah,
use
why not?
some good food.
Sure, why not?
Won't say no to that.
Okay. Mr. Johnson nods as you all agree, and a waiter comes from behind you from the bar and hands you actual paper menu. And this is today's soup of the day is a lovely creamy mushroom and herb served with handmade bloomer bread. And I would recommend the lobster.
That really is fancy.
Yeah, this place, it's extraterritorial property of Neonet. What you've probably been able to gather is this place is also an executive retreat. Some of the overweight white middle-aged men are fairly senior executives, which is why this place is festooned with cameras and security. The three goons that Mr. Johnson has with him are obvious, but anyone who really, really looks will be able to see that this place is heavily secure with wards and cameras and sensors and probably on-site security personnel that you haven't seen.
Oh, no fucking around. Yeah.
And we know about 2 guards and 1 plant.
And who knows how many more?
It's a really nice plant.
So you order lunch.
Yes, but over the I would advise against the lobster because I'm pretty sure half of the people with me have no idea how to eat lobster and not look like complete idiots.
You say that, do you spell that out? Just
No,
like-
I'm not saying it like that, but that is the reason why I try to get you towards more traditional things.
What,
So
kid
what
appropriate food?
Like
That's what you're saying?
you can't really do much wrong with a steak.
What's your argument for not trying the lobster? Because I'm really intrigued. I never had lobster before, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Me.
I'm on the same boat. I was like, yeah, I'll go for that lobster. And then Venus is like, no, don't.
Never liked seafood anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's not as good as it sounds, and I'm pretty sure that the real meat steak here that is fantastic. Like trying to lure you into that direction because you probably don't get real meat that often either.
It does say on the menus that it's organic, hand-reared, authentic Aberdeen Angus cow.
Exactly. Just imagine that.
Okay, I can't resist real meat.
Yeah, neither can I.
I have the steak.
So do I.
does Farron know how to eat lobster?
You don't know. You'd have to have the lobster to find out.
You can risk it.
Well, I have a lot of dice in etiquette and high society, so I think I might be okay with the lobster.
I have etiquette too.
Are you gonna order the lobster
And I'm learning my stuff, so
after telling us not to?
I mean, I'm not trying to talk to the lobster, obviously,
No.
but I kind of assume table manners is included in etiquette.
It is.
No,
indeed.
I'm saying if you're gonna order the lobster after telling us not to.
I risk it. I have etiquette.
I have edge.
That's true. Also, I
Okay.
really like lobster.
Also, what can possibly go wrong? I won't get
Okay.
shot for eating lobster wrong
How
way.
do you know you really like lobster if you never tried it before?
I, not she.
Oh, you really like. Oh, all right.
Yes,
Okay.
after the others actually order their steak, I will order the lovely lobster for Venus.
Oh my god.
Okay. Is Farron ordering the lobster?
Yeah.
So does Wayfarer,
Okay.
because screw the diplomacy, screw the etiquette, and
Yeah,
screw the Venus.
I probably should have sent a special message to Wayfarer just telling him the opposite. You have to eat this. Don't you dare eat the steak. Don't you dare eat the steak.
Don't even think about real meat.
Reverse
Okay.
psychology.
Yeah. Venus can for free pick up one rank in the knowledge skill, reverse psychology, as opposed to Wayfarer.
Can I judge intentions?
You can, but your dice pool isn't big enough to beat hers.
Yeah,
She can
yeah.
buy hits and beat anything that you can roll. So,
Well, I
Mr.
have 10
Johnson
dice.
Mr. Johnson actually orders a club sandwich and chips. It takes 15 minutes or so. You make small talk, and the food comes out. Those of you that ordered lobster, except Farron, give me an etiquette test.
The risk paid off. I don't even have to roll.
I got 7 hits.
I got 5
Look at
hits.
Holy crap,
Okay.
you're actually not terrible at this.
He edged that.
He edged that. So
I'm
You
lucky.
edged your lobster roll.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still.
he edged his "Can I eat lobster without looking like a twat?" roll.
Damn.
You both managed to pull it off. So Venus is unsurprising. Wayfarer, his ability to eat it without looking like a fool does actually warrant a raised eyebrow from Mr. Johnson and probably a few comments over DNI from the team. Farron, though, looks like she's had this many times before. She is, without thinking, literally without thinking, she just does exactly what you should do to eat lobster. Venus is impressed.
Oh,
So
By which fact?
Yeah, between bites, I sent to Farron, oh, you never told me you had lobster before. Well, not that we actually talked about it, but still.
yeah, I was just about to say, we never really talked about this stuff, trying to hide the fact that she is surprised about it herself.
What I meant is, you never told me you were experienced in these circles. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Farron thinks to herself, this is very good lobster, probably Maine lobster from the east coast of continental North America, freshly flown over, packed in ice just right, and cooked to perfection. Farron's opinion of this lobster, within her own mind, if she chooses to voice it, that's her call, is this is probably the best lobster that you could possibly have on this planet. It might even be the awakened giant carnivorous lobster. We're not quite sure, but this is absolutely amazing lobster.
Nice.
And Farron, should you choose at some point in the future, you purchase the fine food and wine knowledge skill.
That was what we were talking about, that I may not really use that often. Wow.
Probably not, but it's a piece of your past that you can choose to recover.
I will, of course, but fine food and wine, you've said?
Yep. Well, the actual knowledge skill is fine dining with a specialization that I will PM you.
Okay, just going to add it, but not buy it yet.
Okay.
So I don't forget it.
Those of you that will basically, you all eat your lunch. The steaks come out. They are probably about half an inch thick, sirloin, perfectly cooked to your specifications, thick, beef eater style chips, French fries for American listeners, with a massive porterhouse mushroom on top, and some green vegetables, some peas that have been cooked to perfection, probably steamed, and broccoli as well.
And to your uncultured tongues, it probably tastes completely fake and lame. None of that chemical food amplifier stuff in there.
Yeah, anyone with a low lifestyle usually calls steak in a restaurant or bar or wherever. So lunch passes, you all make small talk, enjoy the food. After the plates have been cleared away, Farron really enjoyed it. The plates are cleared away and coffee and dessert are served. At which point Mr. Johnson decides to get down to business. So do you have the data for me? I take it.
Oh, of course. You have our payment, I assume.
He places a certified cred stick on the table and slides it across to Venus.
Oh, thank you. I take it and hand it to Wayfarer to check it. Would you be so kind, Wayfarer?
Wayfarer checks it.
It is the agreed upon amount.
Wayfarer gives a note to Venus.
I sent DNI. All right, I sent him the file then. Or actually, do we have it on a chip? Or can you transfer it to a chip maybe?
Do I have to have a chip? Is it somewhere in the gear?
I'm not going to worry about it. If you
Well,
want to
I
have it on
have
a
10
data-
data chips. There are in RFID tags.
Yeah, if you want to have a data chip for it, then fine. Otherwise, you can send it via an ARO.
I data chip it.
Yeah, I'm not sure he wants it over the matrix. That's why I suggested
I'll
we chip
just
it.
subtract one from my equipment and give one to him with the data.
Don't worry about it. Data chips, a dime a dozen. Well, yeah,
5 new
actually they
yen
are.
each.
No. For 10.
I know, 5 for
standard-
10, yeah.
Standard data chips are. I'm not even going to get you to track that. They're easy. You can probably pick up free samples from most electronic stores. So don't worry about it on your gear list. Mr. Johnson takes it and slots it into his comlink. You see his eyes go glassy for a few seconds. He's obviously checking it through in AR, and his eyes refocus on the 6 of you. This is excellent. You guys bring up the topic of the additional data that you acquired. You go back and forth negotiating, and you settle on a price that we spoke of last week. So you get the full $9,000. I have heard reports that there was a break-in, but obviously this additional data explains it. So as far as I'm concerned, all of the criteria, the mission parameters were successfully achieved, and so I'm most pleased. This will help in our investigation immensely. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, you are most welcome. And thank you so much for this lovely lunch.
My pleasure. You have managed to, in fairly good timeline, remove a significant stumbling block in a high priority investigation. So excellent. Thank you very much. And please enjoy dessert. I have somewhere I need to be, but I assure you it's on me. And I look forward to possibly working with you all again.
That would be indeed very enjoyable. I wish you the best of luck in your investigation.
Thank you. With that, Mr. Johnson stubs out his cigar, finishes off his tosses back the remaining of his scotch, and gets up and leaves. The potted plant security guard walks with him, and you see through the windows as he and his 3 security guards go and get into one of the night skies that were parked in the car park. You see a 4th security agent in the vehicle, probably a rigger, and the car drives off.
I really need one of those cars. They're amazing.
After you've all finished your dessert and coffee and whatever, and leave, I take it you're not going to sort of hang around and dawdle?
Nope.
Not for too long now.
So what was for dessert?
It was an excellent chocolate mousse.
Nice.
I'm
Excellent.
You can't go wrong with chocolate mousse. It's awesome.
Let's
You'll head back to your various homes, get changed out of your fancy clothes, unless you don't, because you might be Farron.
Actually, no, she changes clothes.
You go about your evening. What are you guys doing in the evening?
We talked about this. The Copper Horse is more a, let's say, low lifestyle equivalent place, maybe medium, but definitely not higher, right?
Yeah,
The Copper
no,
Horse is
definitely not
luxury.
high. Yeah.
No, it's luxury.
The food and some of the drinks they have available would apply to a luxury lifestyle, but yeah, it's a low or medium. I'm not going to worry too much about cost unless you're drinking coffee by the pint.
No, I meant with a high lifestyle equivalent outfit, you definitely stick out there.
Oh yeah, just
I-
normal street clothes is appropriate.
I never cared about it, so
So if people are going to hang out in the Copper Horse, I'm definitely going. If someone is inviting, as I also have to discuss with the team whether or not I'm going with them again.
Oh, we could also go to the Burnham Boys Football Clubhouse. They
I know,
also
yeah.
have fantastic. Well, honestly, their food sucks, but the ambient is pretty nice.
you just don't want to.
You
go to
have
Copper
no
Horse.
future in the sales business.
I don't get a cut, so why should I lie?
The Copper Horse is one of the best pubs in Windsor, so I vote there.
Fine, let's go there and celebrate our job.
Yeah,
How about
also,
that?
if Lycan is going to work with us again, might be the best idea to just introduce it. Oh wait, she already knows him. Forget it.
Yeah, Rick
Yeah.
sent her to us.
Exactly. But we might thank him for this.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go back there and meet them.
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me.
So yeah, in the evening we meet up at the Copper Horse then
The
Okay.
usual place.
and get stone
Yeah.
drunk.
Not today.
That's what he says now.
Yeah, that's what he says now. While you're at the Copper Horse enjoying yourselves and just socialising, you hear a very throaty, large vehicle pull up, and about 2 minutes later, you see as Ribbon and Pinky walking. They're dressed in sort of jeans and a t-shirt with jackets over the top. They make their way around, just saying hi to people, getting a drink, just general chit chat and socialising.
Yeah, I think we are all in a corner, maybe, having a drink.
Okay.
Cool. But
what-
before they arrive, as I'm probably going to wave at them, as I know already, I'm going to ask Farron a very, very important question. Because I really thought about this, Farron. I like your tail. It's so cool. Where did you get it?
This question again.
Oh, I'm sorry if it's offensive to you. It's
No,
just,
no. It's just complicated.
It's complicated?
Yeah,
Oh, you don't have to tell me. Don't worry about it. I was just curious. I like it.
I'm glad you like it.
It's a fluffy tail, indeed.
She looks kind of embarrassed that she actually can't talk about it. Rather, she wants, but she wouldn't even know what to say, and she doesn't want to make up a story.
It's very distinctive though.
You mean detail or not talking about it?
Oh no, that tail.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it is. It's super cool.
But you know that.
So after a while, Ribbon and Pinky walk in, and after a few minutes, they've gone to drink. Ribbon sort of glances around and spots Lycan.
Lycan waves at her, says, "Hi!"
What name would she know you by, Lycan?
She would know me by the name Abby or Lycan. It's a discretion which of those names is because she knows both of them.
Okay. She'll sort of rush over and pull you out of your chair and
Yeah.
give you a big hug.
Mm.
Lycan, hello. Haven't
Hi.
seen you in ages. How have you been?
Good, I guess. Right, I'm just hanging out with these people. Stuff is happening.
Yeah.
She's like,
Um,
she seems reluctant to tell how it's really going.
So you've hooked up with these guys, have you?
Yeah, sort of. We haven't really spoke yet about if I'm going to like hang out with them on a regular basis.
Yeah, she came to lend us a hand, and she was quite a handful.
Ribbon chuckles. Yeah. My cousin's a bit of a fool, but she's handy to have around, aren't you, cuz?
Yeah, right.
Your
I'm
cousin.
sure they know already.
Good. Yes. She's my cousin. We grew up together.
Oh, that's why it feels so familiar, seeing her work and do stuff.
Interest.
Yeah, no, right. Runs in the family.
Ribbon gives a bit of a chuckle at that. Yeah. It runs in the family. And yeah, definitely.
Cannot tell if that's the shittiest pun ever or you're just unaware.
After
No offense.
After a moment, Pinky comes over and says, "Oh, Lycan, fancy seeing you here. I haven't seen you in and he starts sort of doing that fake counting on his fingers as if he's doing mental arithmetic. 9 months? 10 months?
I don't remember really, but perhaps
Yeah,
right.
He has a fake put upon look. Oh, you don't remember? Oh, I feel hurt now. And he gives you a hug. His big, beefy, bright neon pink cyber arms wrapping around you as he tries to not squish the life from you. Well, I'll leave you girls to your girl talk and nod to Farron and Venus as well. This is I'm gonna go and get some crisps. Yeah, crisps or nuts. Nuts. Yeah, nuts. And he walks off to the bar, and you see him start talking to a few other people who are stood at the bar.
Oh,
He has a very large pint. It's not quite a stein, but it's much bigger than a pint. It looks in his big, massive, orky hands like a pint glass does in your hands. So it's probably about a pint and a half.
It's the first time I saw him kind of embarrassed.
So Ribbon will make small talk for a few minutes, and then she'll excuse herself to go and speak to some friends and allow you guys to talk biz.
But yeah, like you did a good job there. Was good to have you with us.
I'm glad you think so. Like working with you as well.
I mean, was that you who took out that steel links at the stairs?
Yeah, I guess it was me and Bench.
Oh, well, those things are tough and
No,
big.
not really.
After seeing what those guys did with it, I don't think they're that tough.
They're really scary if you're not careful.
But it was a good
Spirits,
idea
though.
with the sprinklers as well, Cat.
Yeah, I will admit I've been thinking that one for ages. Speaking of, we have to have a talk, like how you guys can deal with spirits. Because trying to punch a fire spirit is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, but you can't shoot them either, can you?
Yeah, you can. Would you punch a fire?
Yeah, would you shoot a fire?
Well, this is corporeal fire.
Yeah,
So
see, so you can punch it, right?
Yeah, you can punch it. It will hurt it. It will also destroy you.
Maybe destroy you.
The last time I attacked spirits, it worked fine with punching with the spurs.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're kind of saying there. So, okay, good point. I'm not good at punching anyway, so I'm not punching anyone. Except maybe Wayfarer over there if he starts talking dumb stuff again.
If you ever see a spirit, I will demonstrate that sometime when we are not indoors. If you ever see a spirit with a shimmering aura of energy around it, do not touch it. That's,
Isn't it basically every spirit?
No. It highly depends. Some of them never do, some of them sometimes do, but most likely won't. But basically, if you see spirit of fire, just try to stay away from it.
But so how are you
That's
dealing
maybe
with it then?
with any spirit.
Yeah. I'd really love to stay away from it, but they kind of want to get close to us.
Yeah.
Well, stick shock will work. APDS if you have it.
Or
Wanna-
water balloons.
Wait.
Yeah,
You're saying stick and shock works against them?
yeah, of course.
Oh, it's kind of silly.
No, you're just taking the piss. That can't work. I mean, if shooting a fire, but shooting a fire with something that sticks and shocks, this can't be real.
Yeah, that is basically like electric fire, right?
You guys are overthinking it. It's not fire. It's mana manifested as fire that a spirit of the real of a plane of fire has created around itself.
I'm running a matrix search, like a quick Google search, like someone says you can stick and shock a spirit. Is he bullshitting me? Like on one of those Yahoo message board thingies where you can ask all stupid kind of questions, or Reddit sort of thing.
Out of character. I'm not completely out of.
Oh no, out of character, you're totally right. Yeah.
Okay, you run a simple. Sorry, go ahead, Lycan.
Do I have to roll magical theory to know that Cat is bullshitting?
No, you know enough about fighting spirits to know that he is not bullshitting you in the slightest. Wait for Venus. You run your search and you get onto Reddit, and as usual, Reddit is full of absolute bullshit. And after a few seconds, you realise that was completely the wrong thing to do. You do a search, and you get pointed towards MagicNet.
Yeah, I'm at this point. I'm probably just accessing my knowledge software this subscription and download a rating 1 knowledge soft about spirits and see if that has anything about it.
Okay, yes. If you even with a rating 1 knowledge skill, magic theory or spirits for dummies or something like that, it tells you that yes, at lower forces, and force is capitalized in the text, at low force up to around medium, doesn't give you a number for that, but it says that stick and shock ammo is effective, more so on water spirits, and it also tells you that any high damage weapon will work, and anything that improves your armor penetration has been shown to be effective, but obviously that effectiveness trails off as you get higher up the force power level.
Can I request that any knowledge soft Venus downloads is called something for dummies, since it's all rating 1?
No, maybe.
But yeah, entirely possible at rating 1. But yeah, you do get confirmation of what Kat is telling you. Stick and shock ammunition, due to its innate penetrative properties of the electrokinetic discharge from the capacitance tip, and APDS ammunition due to its high potential for penetrating armor are both effective against spirits.
What about explosive ammo?
Explosive ammo is listed as less effective, but in the right environment, in the right weapon, can be useful. It recommends stick and shock and APDS preferably.
Explosive should perhaps work against water at least, shouldn't it?
It will hurt water spirits more than other types of spirits, but for general use, you want APDS or stick and shock because they will work against everything.
Explosive damage increases the amount of fun.
How about depleted uranium rounds?
Depleted uranium rounds are listed as the ultimate in spirit killers because of their penetrative properties and also the unique properties of the depleted uranium itself. Because it's a very heavy element and the latent radioactivity not detectable, not going to affect living beings, but it's just so highly processed, it really, really, really frags spirits up.
You did not bring that up in character, did you?
No.
Okay.
I'm also not Googling where can I buy depleted uranium rounds.
If you did that, you would probably fairly quickly get some people knocking on the door.
Exactly. Which is why I'm not doing it.
So,
Yes.
Kate, how about you teach me about all of this magical stuff, and then there won't be any more of those problems with me punching spirits. But also, I try to figure out a way to repay you for the ferret pet you wanted to give me. So maybe I can think of something that I can help you with or give you in return if I know more about magic.
Well, it's fine. We'll find something. We're a team, you know.
No, it's not fine. Can't just go and give somebody a pet but not expect anything in return.
I expect you to serve my hide at some point, most likely. I am bound to run into trouble sooner than later. And Kat will launch into a half-drunken rant about different kinds of spirits with beer bottles and beer glasses substituting spirits, and he will what was I gonna say? He will illustrate like tactics to use against spirits and that kind of stuff. He might even summon some small spirits like Force 1, Force 2, Force 3 at some point.
So a half-drunk lecture about spirits. I don't think this will be any helpful.
Well, you'll get. I don't know if you want to do this in character, like the whole thing. But he will go on to like different kinds of spirits. There's the spirit of man, there's the spirit of fire, the spirit of water, the spirit of air, the spirit of what did I say? Yes, there's a spirit of air too, and they all tend to have different elemental affinities and blah blah blah.
Yeah. So she will listen to you, but you can expect that she will talk to you about it again once you're not half drunk.
Wasn't that bad?
Well, yeah, you explained it as a normal person that isn't drunk right now. But who knows what Kate actually said? Maybe he slurred some of the things. No one even knows what he was talking about. Also, a DNI text to Lycan that if she really wants to know about the tale, Farron will tell her at a later time. So just so she isn't really... I don't know about, so just continue what you want to say.
Lycan replies that you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. I was just curious, but yeah, I'll be happy to listen to tell me. Also,
this is
I'll
the fluffiest tail I've ever touched.
What?
This is the fluffiest tail I've ever touched.
When?
Look at it. Look at it.
Yeah, Cat, that beer might be too much for you. You might want to calm down a bit.
So he's just groping the tail right now?
It's mostly pointing and maybe touching every now and then, but yeah, not awful. It's
Okay,
so fluffy.
Cat, give me a composure test with a -2 penalty.
Let me find my composure.
The short touch
2
of
hits.
fingertip is so fluffy that he just can't compose himself and has to grab it.
Yeah. With 2 hits on your composure test, you manage to refrain from actively groping Fluffy Tail, but you are gushing about Fluffy Tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this.
And yes, Farron's has been named. It is a thing.
You mean fluffy tail?
Exactly.
As
It's a thing. Capitalized and everything. Trademark pen.
Okay.
So, Farron, do you know which animal it's from at least?
I don't think it's an animal. Maybe?
I asked what animal the tail is from. Cat. Looks sort of wolfish. Sure, it's
And there
a
it
wolf,
is.
but it looks.
She can't currently answer because she has to refrain from laughing about what cats just learn about. But in between the kind of laugh, it's yeah, that she just even though if she's not knowing, she just says it's wolf.
I have a creature's knowledge. Should I roll it to see if I can identify the?
You've already done that, and
Oh.
it's, as far as cat's concerned, it's either a wolf or a husky.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
that's
cute.
a husky wolf thingy. Maybe it's a dire wolf. Are you a dire wolf? Are you a shapeshifter?
Are you too much drunk for this conversation?
What, to talk like tales? Nah.
Oh boy, we really should watch out about what she's drinking next time. No, I'm not a shapeshifter.
That's actually a good point. Cat, what are you drinking?
I don't know. This is mostly the player feeling really silly. So, I think burnt edge, people almost dying, lagging around, quite a lot of physical damage. He's probably getting drunk. And what would a British person drink to get like something stronger than beer?
Pint of vodka.
More beer.
Yeah, you'd probably just be drinking absolute shit tons of beer.
That's
Probably,
icky.
probably a good ale that's nice and strong. Trying to strip the enamel from.
Okay, yeah, that then.
Either that, or you'd be drinking like whiskey or some form of spirit. Probably not vodka, but maybe.
Yeah, he probably got maybe I
Ex-
don't know if a bottle of whiskey is appropriate, but something like that to share, and he's drunk more than his share.
Maybe-
basically.
Okay.
Maybe he drank a bit of beer and accidentally grabbed Wayfarer's vodka.
No, I mean, if you want a good English whiskey, you can get that in the Copper Horse.
The vodka and beer can be mixed into a cocktail.
I think by now, Cat's open to trying anything like that, any such nonsense.
Okay.
Yeah, they probably
what's-
have something where they have a beer and then just pour like whiskey, or maybe not whiskey, but some sort of liquor
whiskey.
in there.
Yeah, blended Scotch like Bales or Teachers. You quite often tip that into your beer to top it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Cider and stout more than others, but whatever you feel like, whatever's your pint of preference with some blended
Cider
blended
sounds
Scotch.
fun. Yeah, he's probably drinking cider with something stronger.
By the way, Iron, are there envious eyes in the background after he's touching the tail?
Also,
He didn't quite touch the tail. He was very close. He was just about to start caressing the tail, and he pulled his hand away.
Yeah, maybe still someone noticed it.
At about 10 o'clock, you've been in the pub for a few hours. Yeah, you've all had a few drinks. Cat significantly more than the rest of you. And
For
Pinky comes over, expertly holding 6 shot glasses in his hand at the same time.
Pinky?
Booker time! And he put 6 shots of Sambuca on the table and out to each of you.
You just hear Banshee going, "Oh god damn it, not this again."
You the man.
none for you.
And you see Pinky has what looks like a quadruple shot of Sambuca. And he just downs it in one.
Cat will follow suit.
Yeah, Venus downstairs too.
There's about 10 others in the pub who all down it at about the same time. It's almost as if this is a ritual at about 10 p.m. at night.
Okay.
About 15 minutes later, you hear someone else shout from over the corner, "Jaeger bombs! Jaeger
Oh
bombs!
god.
Jaeger bombs!
Oh no!
Jaeger
Oh
bombs!"
god damn it!
At which point, everyone in the entire pub is given a full 250ml can of Red Bull with a double shot of Jägermeister to bomb into it.
God, that's disgusting.
Outside of
Oh no, Jaeger bombs are a thing. It's the only reason I have Jägermeister in my hand. I can't stand the stuff unless it's mixed with Red Bull.
That's why I said it's
I have
disgusting.
so many bad memories from.
I'm
Oh,
keeping
I have nothing
silent,
but good
but
memories from Jaeger bombs.
Wayfarer
those-
definitely drinks everything.
Okay. I would like everyone to give me a body plus willpower.
Can we try to save Cat from being very drunk by drinking
No.
Jaeger bombs? Maybe.
It's too late.
No, it's far too late.
Far too
Put
late.
on the table. Yeah, cat is at it like a cat.
He already passed the. Oh fuck! He already passed the point where he gives a fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I assume my nephretic screen applies to not getting drunk.
And
Okay. Wayfarer, how the hell have you got 15 dice?
5 body, 4 willpower, and nephritic screen rating 6. You said it applies to drinking.
Oh, yeah, good point.
It was composure, right?
No, body plus willpower.
But
just to say, Banshee is closely following to Cat. So yeah, Banshee is about to get really drunk really fast.
Jaeger bomb.
it's not damage resisting, is
No.
No, it's not
No.
damaging.
You
Not
wanted
yet.
to apply bone lacing.
I mean, technically it is toxin resistance, but okay. So Cat is getting drunker.
Right.
Question everyone just ignored. Did Lycan take off the respirator?
I probably do if I'm going.
Yeah, you probably see her sort of. She's probably drinking through a straw or something that she just puts under the respirator and then puts the respirator back on.
I
unless
get
you wanna
drunk
take it
enough
off.
to take it off.
Yeah, okay.
Soon.
I do need you to make a separate body plus willpower roll. Actually, no. Body times 2.
3 body
Yes,
times 2.
Lycan. Body times 2, please.
3 hits.
Okay. The dust in the environment isn't affecting you right now. The alcohol doesn't seem to affect Lycan that much. Cat already being worse from wear. His eyes are getting pretty glassy. He's starting to ramble, inane twaddle about various bits. Venus is mostly okay as well. Banshee, this is kind of, the taste is wrong because it's Jägermeister and not vodka, but you're relatively okay.
For now.
For now, yes. Wayfarer, you are very fine with 5 hits. That that implant's really serving its job. In fact, you look like you're pretty much sober, which prompts Pingy to bring you over another Jaeger bomb.
Jaeger bomb.
Farron,
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
other hand, Farron, on the other hand, you bomb the double shot of Jägermeister into the full can of Red Bull, and as you're downing it, you can feel your head start to spin and your vision start to blur as this incredibly potent concoction that you're not hugely used to yet just completely sideswipes you, and you are now suffering a -1 to all actions because you are tipsy.
Shouldn't have done that.
Cat is even worse. He's suffering a -2 right now because he is.
Wait, it's just 35%.
Then she comments, lightweights.
At which point, Banshee feels a big meaty metal hand on his shoulder as he's given another Jaeger bomb.
Excellent.
Aaron, it's just 35%.
Yeah, no, it's the caffeine. It enhances absorption of everything because it's a vasodilator, so it makes you it helps you get drunk quick.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've bombed plenty of Jaeger bombs. These things are powerful, particularly after you've warmed up with a double sambuca and all of the other stuff you've been drinking all night. This is about 10:30 at night, and there are some people with incredibly ruddy cheeks and glassy eyes in this pub right now.
I
Cat
have
being one of them.
question out of character.
Mhm.
What happens with a spell if you pass out or sleep or something like that? A sustained spell.
It drops.
No, no fun.
You can't maintain concentration on a spell while unconscious. It's the same with technomancers and complex forms. The only way to maintain a spell would be to have a spirit maintain it for you, or to quicken it,
I have another question.
or for it to be an alchemical preparation.
And the spirit thing is pretty evil.
No, spirit sustaining spells isn't that bad. Spirit's
Yeah.
taking drains for you when you cast a spell. That's bad.
I'm pretty sure the normal sustaining only lasts for like forcing combat turns, so won't really help you very much. You would need the long-term sustaining, and I'm pretty sure that takes up 1 force from the spirit each day, like eats it up literally.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it, but it doesn't matter because Cat doesn't have any bound spirit.
No,
No.
Can
So go ahead, Wayfarer.
first aid kit be used to treat hangovers? That's relevant for at least 3 people here.
Unfortunately, not. The only thing that would work would be some form of antidote or time. Wasting a dose of antidotes on someone who was just drunk would probably be bad.
Not drunk, hangover.
Well, hangover is the crash effect of being drunk.
Yeah.
Detox works very well.
If only there was a mage in the party.
if only the mage wasn't too drunk to remember it.
To do anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to Detox feels fine.
You feel
Fine.
fine for now.
Farron, I have to ask you a thing.
Hmm?
It's a bit weird.
What?
It's a bit weird.
Okay.
Can I nap on your tail? It looks so fluffy. And it's not gonna be like big meat. It's gonna be small meat. No big cat, small cat. You know what I mean?
Awkward.
She just grabs her own tail, puts it close to her own body.
I'll try and save Farron. I'll try and save Farron from that situation by trying to make her play darts with me. Some other pop-related activity.
Yeah, sure.
I would like to load the LinguaSoft trunk English, please.
And Banshee will
Okay.
probably have that.
Unfortunately, there is no LinguaSoft. It is a dialect that varies on a person to person.
Is there knowledge skill?
Knowledge skill speaking to drunk people, yes, there is, but it never goes above 1, and you're limited to 2 successes always, because
You have
drunk people are just like that.
And you have to pray it actually works.
Yeah, exactly.
And most of it boils down to say something, they ignore you, slap them.
We have
Yeah.
to go that way to get home. He moves the other way. I said that way. I'm going that way. No, you're going the other way.
And every other
You're
thing,
wrong.
every other response to what you tell them is, "I love you."
More or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unless he's an aggressive drunk. In that case, yeah.
You guys have no fun.
Banshee taps the bar table and
Not at
raises his
all.
hand. Pinky, another one.
Pinky's actually playing darts, and he shouts over to Lycan and Farron to join him.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Who's winning?
Yeah, Pinky is.
Oh, I knew it.
If he's playing against himself, then it's obvious.
He's only got 18 dice in throwing weapon.
Yes,
Give him
probably.
another drink so that I can.
Yeah, you know that it takes a very, very formidable opponent to drink Pinky.
Yeah, I know that.
So how about this? Farron, seeing that Pinky is just destroying us, would like to convince Lycan that we try to make him that drunk that we actually can beat him.
It's a very good idea. But
We really should do it. I mean, he is just insulting us.
he always does that. But it's very, very hard to. You know that, right? It's very hard.
So
We'll
here's
have to cheat or something.
here's how you
Not very sportsmanlike.
here's how you do it. You take the Red Bull and replace it with Jägermeister, and then he
Ow.
pours the Jägermeister into the Jägermeister, and your own Jägermeister you replace with Red Bull, and then you have a drink off.
So, can everyone hear this conversation?
I'm not really. I don't think that is a good idea. It sounds too
Everyone
unsportsmanlike.
everyone can hear Farron's part of it because she's part.
You said
Yeah,
tipsy.
She's in the jolly loud stage of getting drunk.
Banshee stands up and goes, "We'll see about that," and pulls the bottle of Jägermeister and goes to Pinky. Basically goes, "You know how this goes. We've done this many times before."
He kind of cocks his eye at Banshee. Says, "You're gonna have to get your own bottle as well."
Banshee has a crush.
After everyone has got an appropriately large drink, Pinky proceeds to basically down what's left. About 3/4 of a bottle of Jägermeister. His eyes sort of go ever so slightly glassy as you think it might have had an effect of the very slightest kind. He kind of shivers and that tickles, and starts drinking his pint again, or his pint and a half.
Of course, this is pissing Banshee off, so he pulls out his flask with his homemade brandy and drinks that, downs it in one sip.
Okay, Banshee, give me a body plus willpower check.
I whisper to the rest at the table.
-2.
It's like a train wreck, and you can't look away.
-2, right?
Yep, -2.
Just FYI, Wayfarer doesn't have pilot groundcraft.
I love that Banshee's taking.
That's why you have autopilots.
Okay, that one didn't seem to affect you that much, Banshee. It's your own stuff. You're kind of used to it, but you know from experience, because you've had many drinking competitions, most of which you've lost because you've picked on trolls. That Pinky just it's about as difficult to get Pinky drunk as it is to bench press your average SU.
You can still try.
This guy is, it's almost as if he has an immunity to alcohol.
Almost.
Almost.
Chicken.
Yeah.
So he has.
He might have an auto injector with a detox drug in there.
Just so he can beat Banshee every
What?
night.
What's the point in drinking if you can't get drunk?
That is so true.
Taste.
That you can take the piece of like 2 proud Serbians.
One.
Oh no, Cat thinks there's 2 of you right now.
We should try to win over a cat.
You should what?
We should try to win over a cat in a game of darts. But I don't think we can get him to any of the darts.
I don't think you can get him to stand upright.
It's a bit of a problem getting him to sit up straight.
Okay, someone should make sure Cat gets home.
That's the right moment to talk to Kat about loaning me money.
It's okay. You're a good man. Well, you're part of the team at least.
I don't know if you're a man though. You might be a unicorn.
Yeah, I mean, sure. How much do you need?
So Pinky is still throwing like a boss.
He's not throwing quite as well. You think he might be suffering a -1 to his dice pools because he's had a shit ton of alcohol.
Okay.
I mean, it's almost like his resistance test to alcohol are in the region of about 28 to 30 dice.
God damn it. One day.
Now let's see.
Although in all fairness, you guys probably think that his resistance to all kinds of damage is at least 28 to 30 dice. Yeah. This guy is, if you look up double tough in the Oxford English Dictionary, there's probably a picture of Pinky.
Or at least if there's one in the Copper Horse, somebody just edited it. Added it to the book.
Probably Ribbon is. She's very hands computers.
Farron, are you rolling to see how good you are at throwing dice?
Yeah, the 4.
Did you include your -1?
Yeah.
2 hits. I don't think you're going to.
With
Wait.
2 with
I have edge now, and we're not on a run. I can use my edge.
Oh, maybe I can win if I boost my agility.
So 4 hits again.
Okay, you hit the dartboard. You managed to. You got a treble 18.
Okay.
That's too easy. You guys need more of a challenge.
Cat
Can I-
mana bolts the dartboard.
No, I will chaotic world it.
He stumbles to the dartboard and throws a dart at the ceiling.
Okay. Lycan, are you going to use your agility boost power?
Yep. I want to win
Go
over
on.
him.
Sorry.
I am going to win this game.
Also, I think with Farron being quite tipsy, the tail is wagging
So
uncontrollably.
my agility is up to 8. So what do I roll to?
Throwing
Throwing
weapons.
Just for giggles, if Wayfarer looks at Pinky's hands through the matrix,
So I put default on throwing weapons. What is it?
Agility -1.
1 hit. It's a glitch. Oh my god!
Suddenly,
You hit Pink in the back.
No, you drop as your hand is flying forward with the dart. The dart flies out of your hand, and as it scatters from you and narrowly misses a patron's foot. Hey, what's that?
I'm sorry.
You're both horrible at this.
As you boosted your agility, and because you're partly inebriated, you were unable to prevent your shamanic mask from showing. And so you're stood in a pub in plain view of a whole bunch of civilians. You
Yeah.
boost your agility, and all of a sudden your arms and legs are surrounded by the spectral mana blow-off of a shamanic mask as your hands take a fairly wolf-like appearance for a fraction of a second. Most people don't recognize it, but you notice a few people, 2 in particular, who do notice the shamanic mask there temporarily.
but I thought
Show
I didn't
off.
drink that
I
much.
put it behind my back, and then I go to the bathroom like nothing happened.
Oh no, it's a temporary thing.
It's a
As
temporary
you
thing.
use the power, it flares because you're unable to control it, and you're just kind of using the power.
Yeah.
does
But you do notice that Pinky gives you a weird look, and Ribbon just sort of giggles.
Farron thinks she actually drank too much and just imagined it.
Both
I will
horrible at
say,
Standing there kind of bamboozled. What?
Yeah,
plenty, right?
I think that's it for the game now. I need a beer.
Wait, Banshee looks and goes, You're seeing the wolf too, right? As he
Sorry.
turns his head to the guys.
Most of the people other than your group are just normal people, and they are starting to get very, very tipsy. It's now sort of 11:15 at night. At which point, partly after the wayward dart, Ribbon stands up, goes over to Lycan and you guys. I think you guys need a kebab.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
I'd rather not.
It's the best idea ever in the history of the universe, according to.
Yeah.
If I matrix perceive Pinky's arms,
They're not there.
just at all.
They're just an illusion.
No. His arms are there, but they're not present on the matrix.
Yeah, I mean, he probably has wireless off,
Oh no, you judging by the way he's moving, you think he probably does have wireless on.
or maybe he has an internal router, or whatever. I was just thinking about messing with his arms so he misses the dartboard.
That's so rude.
Or strangles you, maybe.
I could already imagine what's going to happen if he actually tries to suddenly his frame price because Ribbon noticed it.
Yeah, there's a good chance that Ribbon would notice it because she does look like she's quite sober as well. And not that Wayfarer knows this, but she would spike you into next week.
Well, it's not like he does something harmful.
It doesn't matter. It's her husband. And while she's not awakened, she does have similar temperament to Lycan. As in, if she was awakened, she would be a follower. So,
Well, not like Wayfair cares this about much.
no, Wayfarer probably doesn't care. The evening winds down. You all traipse over. It takes two of you to make. Well, actually, no. It takes Pinky to make sure that Cat doesn't die as he falls off of the tries to fall off of the elevated walkway between the pub and the kebab place. The rest of you have managed to get Farron there fairly easily.
I swear I can
got-
fly, guys. I have done it before.
Got her away
I
from
can fly.
And we know how that went.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lycan make your drain resist
Oh no, I totally forgot about that.
with a -1.
No.
Iron, wasn't Connie there this night?
Yeah, Connie was there.
Then
She was probably sitting with you and chatting with you at some point.
then they had to actually convince Farron to go away now.
Yeah.
One hit on, so right. One stun damage.
So yeah, you take one stun,
Yeah.
which will be cumulative with the damage from the.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. You kind of you start stumbling a bit as you take that drain, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because if it's getting later the evening and she trained more, then she might go into the depressive phase, especially with almost dying a couple of days earlier. So going somewhere else where Connie isn't might be a hard thing to convince her now.
Connie's not actually working; she's just there socializing. She does accompany you guys to the kebab shop, and you notice that she gets what her and Pinky refer to as a mega bastard.
That's a
What's
nice name for something to eat.
What's in a mega bastard?
Mega bastard is basically a triple large kebab with extra chili sauce and jalapeno peppers and cheese and all of the associated extraneous salad stuffs.
Who puts
It's basically
food into a kebab?
the British. It's basically a 3 kilo kebab.
Oh god.
There she goes. Give me a mega bastard as well.
Does Banshee say that?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Kat, give me a composure test with a -4 penalty.
By the way, Iron, you never described Connie to Wayfarer, Venus, and Lycan, also the people listening.
Ah, yes. Connie is a incredibly shapely, absolutely stunningly beautiful orc. She's wearing jeans and knee-high leather boots and a quite low-cut sort of tank top type shirt with a jacket over the top that she discards while she's in the pub. It looks like her clothes are sprayed on. They are, not stressed because they fit her perfectly, almost too perfectly. But yeah, they're closer than skin tight. She turns heads wherever she goes, male and some female as well. She is absolutely built like a brick outhouse. She's gorgeous. And she's Farron's. Kat, you are unable to resist Pinky's suggestion that you have a triple helping of extra hot chili sauce.
Yeah, put all that stuff in. Put all of the things.
So the following morning, you will have a ring stinger.
It's fine.
The evening passes. Those of you are all fairly drunk by this point, except Wayfarer. Well, Wayfarer's kind of drunk. He's got Bioware that helps him with that. You all do manage to get home fine. Although Cat, you're not. You wake up at about 7 a.m. in a hedge with a cow licking your face.
You.
The evil cow.
Yeah, the one he owes money to.
That's not fun. Quit that.
You haven't even started your hangout. You're still drunk.
Don't get pay you by the end of the month. I have the money. It's all right. It's all right.
The rest of you wake up in your own beds, except Farron. She wakes up in Connie's bed. You've all got significant headaches. Cat hasn't even started yet at 10 o'clock when he wakes up. And as soon as he has any coffee, soy calf, food, anything, he gets his ring stinger. Banshee, you are feeling decidedly unwell. You think 3 kilos of kebab with extra chili sauce and jalapenos was not the best idea, particularly as your pride made sure that you ate it all.
Of course they did, assholes.
Yeah. No, your pride. You know, Pinky and everyone else was there eating theirs, and you didn't want to look weak.
As I look at my mirror, I go, God damn it, you did it again. You promised yourself, but fuck you.
So yeah, you have a food baby, and you're quite. So you'll have breakfast and stuff. It gets to about 11 o'clock. This is a weekday, so the usual morning TV is on. If anyone's watching the Trid,
Watching the what?
Watching the Trid.
The
You
Trid.
probably are. I probably am.
okay, at about 11:30 in the morning, the usual daytime programming on the BBC and various other channels is interrupted by a breaking news. A pretty brunette newsreader appears on the screen. We have just received word from the Ministry of Defence that the Excalibur Division are currently dealing with a toxic paracritter attack in the East Anglia Stinkfen. We can cross live to our news drones in the area. The screen switches to a panoramic view of a heavily toxic wasteland. In the middle of the screen, 8 humanoid shapes can be seen as they do battle with a large crocodilian creature. The camera zooms in, the picture becoming grainy in the process, and the 8 figures resolve into 2 huge troll-sized forms and 6 standard-sized metahumans, all are dressed in the iconic Excalibur Division heavy battle armor and festooned with weapons. As the picture focuses and stabilizes, one of the trolls trains a large rotary machine gun at the creature and lets loose with an almighty fusillade of high-caliber machine gun fire. The sound is like space itself is ripping apart under the fusillade of fire. A long drawn-out burst hits the critter in the side of the ribcage, blowing chunks of mutated flesh off the creature in all directions. Yet the reptile still doesn't seem to be fazed. The second troll, even larger than the first, levels a 3-barreled cannon at the creature, and it belches out a medium-duration burst of shells so large you can almost see them flying in the drone feed. The shells connect with the rear, left hip and leg of the creature. This phases the beast, causing it to momentarily halt its charge and turn to protect the wounded area. The camera flashes a slightly built metahuman from the other group, most likely an elf, flares in a nimbus of deep red flame as the feed picked up the words, "Who dares wins?" and in the name of the Archangel Michael and St. George, I dare. No sooner has what you think is an elf finished his battle cry, he sprints forward at preternatural speed, drawing an English hand and a half sword from his sheath on his back as he does so, before springing onto the creatures. As the elf begins to slash great rents into the creature, obviously attempting to decapitate it, what look like 2 orcs pull collapsible halberds from smalls of their backs, and after spinning them to extend them to their full length, charge into melee with the giant lizard. A moment later, what looks like a human erupts in deep red lightning, blades extending from his hand as he pops cyber spurs and joins his teammates in close combat with the creature. What follows is a scene from an action Trid. 4 melee combatants harrying and wounding the rabid creature, while the 2 trolls continue to blow chunks from the thing with their heavy automatic weapon, and the other 2 join in, one with an assault rifle and the other with ranged combat spell. It takes the octet of battle-hardened XD soldiers almost a minute to finally vanquish the creature. The sharp-eyed viewers noticing that the creature seems to ooze a greenish-yellow pus from its wounds, which seal the wounds almost as if it had some ungodly regenerative power. The XD are eventually victorious, though 2 of their number have been hurled to the ground by the beast, but are able to stagger woozily to their feet with the aid of their allies. The screen switches back to the brunette anchor woman. As you can see, the brave men and women of the Excalibur Division once again stood between the hard-working peoples of Britain and the vile creatures that seem drawn to our nation from the toxic zones which still blight our lands. I have no doubt those 200 soldiers will be made well, though as we know from previous experience, the Excalibur Division would ask you to send your prayers and good wishes to help speed them on their recovery. We now return you to Bargain Hunt. The screen changes back to the regularly scheduled daytime programming. Bargain Hunter, a buy and sell antique show that's still beloved after 70 years.
Right.
Send your prayers and wishes and all your taxpayers' money.
Okay, it is now lunchtime. What are you guys going to do? I believe some people wanted to go to Blackbush.
Yep.
Yeah.
And sending Venus a DNI text if she'd like to accompany Farron to go to Blackbush to buy some stuff.
What kind of stuff do you need?
1 second.
And we were going to buy the armor there, and somebody needed weapons.
Close the fucking door. You asked what kind of stuff I need, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I had to just mute myself because of something. Once, you remember the gun that I picked up at the run, right?
Yeah, some big one. Oh, what about it?
Oh no, a assault rifle. I wanted to buy some stuff for it, and I actually need something better than the chameleon suit and the armored jacket. So I thought maybe you could help me try finding something that would suit me better and actually help doing our job.
Okay. Yeah. Meet me there in let's say 2 hours.
Sure, no problem.
Is Farron going to communicate with anyone else or Venus?
Yeah, I'm actually going to send around a message that we're heading out there and we're trying to pawn off the stuff we looted on the last run.
Ooh, nice. Did you send it to like the whole party?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm heading there after I had my lunch and got ready.
Okay. Who else is going to the market?
Katis.
Yeah, I
Wayfarer, buy the
Banshee?
suit.
Nope.
Wait, we already bought the suits or no?
No, this is to buy the suit.
Yeah, then Wayfarer goes there.
Oh, she's muted. I was just...
Yeah, I think Lycan's getting some food. Banshee, are you going to Blackbush as well?
Nope.
Okay, so you don't want the armor?
With the big game hunt armor?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure, why not? I thought only one of us was getting it, but okay.
Well, if you pay for it, you get it, basically.
No problem then.
No, all of us get either the cut or the reduced price.
Oh yeah, sure, then I'll go.
Okay.
It's not free.
I'm pretty sure Lycan was going with you. She wanted the armor and she wants to experience Blackbush Market.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, she did say it's out of game.
Oh,
Yep.
there she is. Lycan, are you coming to Blackbush?
Yeah, I could go there. What is this Blackbush?
It's like a flea market, but with loads of guns and illegal stuff, and basically an illegal flea market of sorts.
It's a shopping mall for people who can't go to a shopping mall.
Sure, if you show me the place, I'll be happy to.
It's a
Yeah.
Shadowrunner's wet dream.
I can pick you up if you want.
Please do that.
Yeah, give me an address and be right there.
I'll send him my address.
Okay, I'll show up on my jackrabbit.
Nice.
Hey, it works.
Be glad he doesn't show up as some sort of animal and like has you write him there or something.
Don't give him
What
ideas.
do you mean, be glad?
That would have been cool,
Yeah, that's a pity.
especially if he was
Yeah.
a wolf.
Pretty much all of you have some form of headache. Not huge, but yeah, you're still. It's only the afternoon after a heavy night drinking, so Wayfarer is fine. His Bioware has filtered most of the toxins out of his body. The rest of you are suffering from a hangover at some various degrees. Cat's obviously being far worse than everyone else's.
Yeah, I got the same Bioware.
Have you?
But
in
can
that
he
case-
drive?
Yeah, he can drive. I mean, this autopilot is kind of prompting him to not turn down certain areas and slow down a bit, and but yeah, he's fine driving mostly.
Lycan, I wanted to ask you something.
Yeah?
You do rifles and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, if I wanted a good rifle that was sneaky and had a big, lots of stopping power, what would I go for?
Well, Iron, can I roll for type of rifle geeky stuff?
Without having to roll that the Yamaha Raiden is far superior to all other that are commercially available.
Right, so that's what he's going to tell Cat.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So, how do you
Why
like
do you-
working with a team?
I think it is fine so far.
Yes,
I
the
think,
distraction worked.
I think this team is very well rounded. Seems like we have everything.
Yeah, we seem to be working okay.
I still need to get to know people. It's very hard to.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a pity you weren't here for the toxic mage.
Toxic mage?
Yeah.
I haven't
We
heard
did.
about that.
Well, we dealt with one.
Lycan, you did hear on the news about a page found in the Slough. About you guys took a month's downtime, didn't you? Should be about 6 weeks
Yep.
ago.
That
It's-
toxic mage, was that the one that was on the.
Well, I mean, it would be very unprofessional to tell you yes, but yes.
But yes. All right. Oh, well, yeah. I'm certainly sorry I was around for that.
It was a good thing we did. Anyways, yeah, I think you can help out in the team, so happy to have you around.
Well, I'm still glad you want me around jumping in like that.
Yeah, also I still have to, show you how to be a wolf. Well, I don't know if I can show you, but I can help you be like a literal wolf.
You can help me be a little
Yeah,
through shape
yeah.
shifting, whatever you called it. I never really thought of that. Not really.
Well, it's
But
really cool.
it's interesting. I think I would be able to connect on a certain level by
Yeah.
doing that.
We can look for a place where there is wildlife, and we can go for a couple of days off. Go hunting. As
Yeah, sure. Would be amazing.
yeah.
Wait, cat hunter? What?
Are you surprised that a cat hunts? 'Cause they have
Banshee?
use for you.
I mean, banshees, but I'm not.
Yeah, I mean this is in the card, unless suddenly Banshee appeared in the Jackrabbit.
Wait, but DNI, right?
No, we're talking.
Oh, local. I get.
We're using our voices.
Uh huh.
Magic.
The most
Yeah,
analog of analog.
Yeah, they're speaking out loud, which is so 20th century.
Yeah. Strange.
Bunch of weirdos.
So Lycan and Cat decides that they want to go and hunt sometime, and then they arrive at Black, I think.
Mm-hmm. As you each drive in your own vehicles, however you're going, Blackbush Market there's a small private plane airport nearby, and a auction for used cars and those sorts of assets. They do used car auctions, and some of the lots are put in by repossession companies and finance companies and such to try and recover some cash from defaulted vehicle loans and stuff. You drive in, and as you go to the left, you go basically down the fence line for the airport, and the road soon turns into just basically two tire tracks through some mud, and you go to a field which is used as car parking. You get out your vehicles and head in. There's a very rickety sort of wooden stake fence, very, very easy to climb over, very easy to topple over, just held together basically by chicken wire, marking out the actual market itself. You have to pay a modest fee to get in, it's a few new yen. Two guys are on the door, not the door, at the gate taking money, one of whom is a fairly large human, and the other one is a fairly robust looking dwarf. The dwarf is the guy that takes your money, and the human just sort of stands there with his arms crossed, looking fairly tough. To normal people, he would be very imposing, but to hardened Shadowrunners such as yourselves, not so much. He is armed with more than a light pistol. You go inside, and straight after the gate, there's sort of a long gravel pathway. Along the along the right-hand side are several food trucks, standard chuck wagons and things, and a few larger trucks that are selling frozen and chilled meat. They're quite loud. The guys have got, a PA system attached to the side of the vehicle, and they're talking through sub-vocal microphones or just in standard microphones, and it's blaring out quite loudly. There's lots of different types of cuisine. There's kebabs, the smell of which makes Cat's stomach turn momentarily. There's Chinese, there's fish and chips, there's hot dogs, burgers, all sorts of traditional sort of market food. There's even traditional British food like curries. Off to the left of the gravel pathway is the rest of the field, and it's just festooned, chock full of markets. As you walk around, you see that basically this is just a standard market. There's normal people here just picking up bric-a-brac, buying standard clothes. Most of it looks like Chinese and Aslan knockoffs, some African knockoffs as well, but not many people are buying those because they look like knockoffs. There's also some genuine stuff. There are bargains to be had here if you know what you're looking for. and you're willing to haggle a little bit. Dotted around the market, very carefully hidden, but to you guys, you know what to look for. There are people who sell almost anything you would find in a black market bazaar or somewhere like the crime mall in Seattle. There are weapons, there's armor, there's electronics, there's even people advertising drones. The guy's got a little rotor drone that is just flying around. Eagle-eyed of you will notice that it has a concealed weapon mount, very small one, probably a taser or dart pistol or something, but it does have a weapon mount, and the guy's using that with a comlink basically to advertise the fact that he sells drones. There's a guy with various different types of weapons. Carefully looking at them, particularly in the Matrix, it's easy to spot that their serial numbers have been filed off. They have no assigned ownership, as if they've just had their ownership reassigned because they're illegal. A process that Wayfarer is familiar with because he's done it many times himself. This place is selling armor. Stuff looks like army surplus is hanging up, but if you go inside, you see that there's actual proper armor in there. Electronics of various kinds hidden amongst bric-a-brac and knockoff tat. You know that there's a guy here that sells explosives. There's several guys selling what they claim as replica non-functioning ammunition, but you know for a fact that it's the real thing. You can, as Banshee said a few minutes ago, get most of the stuff that you would want. Obviously no implants, there's not huge amounts of drugs and that sort of stuff, but most other hardware and gear that you would want to buy, you can find.
At some point, Kat will take Venus then aside, or DNI over to her, whatever seems more reasonable. And he will ask her to look for a Yamaha Raiden for our bushy-tailed friend. I'm worried about her ability to kill spirits. I think that would help.
Yeah, okay.
I'll pay for it. Just
And I'm starting to ask around. We had a couple of contacts here last time where we bought weapons and ammo from. So starting there.
Okay. You go to the location where the guy was previously, and you find that there's someone else there. Just a guy selling what look like books and stuff that's probably 60, 70 years old. He just looks like he's trying to make a few quid. A few new yen even. As you walk around, you spot the guy that you were looking for. He's just in a different place today. You walk up to him and you exchange some small talk, and the subject of a decidedly hot Panther and heavy machine gun come up, as well as better protection and all of the stuff that you guys are looking for. And he says that if you take, obviously you don't have the heavy weapons with you because walking around a market with a broken Panther is asking for someone to do something, either call the police or shoot you and steal it. So he says basically bring it to a specific address. He throws you an arrow with an address the following day, and he will sort that out. He says depending on condition, he'll be prepared to knock some money off the suits. You all put a down payment down for the suits. Because they're custom fit, he has to take measurements, hence why you needed to be there. And he says that they will be ready for collection the following day when you drop off the weapon. He has a Yamaha Raiden in stock. It is not customized. It's fully stock standard at the moment, but he will throw in some work if you want to buy accessories for it. I'm assuming Kat wants to trick it out completely.
Yeah, he'll probably have talked about this with what's the best thing to put on a gun like this. I usually do sharpshooter stuff. I can learn how to shoot birds.
He takes special care of measuring Farron's right hand, machine Farron, while he's measuring her for a suit. He DNIs to Kat. The rifle will be all ready for you tomorrow when everything else is collected. Business is finalized.
Excellent.
I'm kind of shocked. I guess even a weapon with all the stuff. Why am I even buying all the stuff for the FNH now?
Well, you don't know that you're getting this.
Yeah,
so
I know.
You still go and so you still go around and you get all the stuff you were going to get: shock pad, personalized grip, smart link.
Smart gun system's already installed.
Is it? Oh, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it was the sling and the smart gun.
Okay, yeah. Did you want a foregrip for that as well?
Yeah.
Whatever it was you get hold of.
When shotguns are installed.
Those of you that want to buy ammo and everything else, you can find it without problem. If it's availability 12 or less, whatever. So if it's more than that, let me know. Wayfarer. There is a guy who actually is selling SMG ammo.
Oh my god.
Oh, no. Unless it's found on the floor, he's not interested.
It's not
Yeah.
worth it.
Okay.
It's a way of
you'll-
life.
it's a something. You'll have a fairly relaxing afternoon walking around the market. There's the usual bric-a-brac and tat and stuff. Lycan and Cat do spot a few minor foci and various places, a few fetishes. Nothing amazingly interesting, but there's most things that you would want at Force One. Chi focuses, sustaining foci. There's a couple of spellcasting foci. Nothing amazing, nothing that you'd really want to invest in because it's Force One. But yeah, so you have a fairly relaxing evening or afternoon. Is anyone doing anything special in the evening?
I need to go talk to Madame Xiao to see if she has the power focus she promised me ready, and to see if she can do something with this battle axe to make it a bit more concealable.
Okay. You can do that the same day, or you can do it the following day?
I can do it in the afternoon.
Okay. After you guys have all finished at Blackbush, Kat heads over to High Wycombe and to Madame Zhao's talismanga shop. Her granddaughter greets you. Her granddaughter being a sort of fairly short Chinese-looking girl, early 20s. Although it's hard to tell with that ethnicity. They all kind of look fairly young until they don't.
Did you ever get her name?
You did.
No, we never got told the name.
No, and you don't this time. She's just a girl working behind the counter. In fact, I don't even know if you know she's a granddaughter. But either way,
No, that
You-
we know. I think Madame Xiao herself told us like she spoke well about her granddaughter. I think like
okay.
not bragging, but she said like yeah, she was proud of her or something like that.
Yeah, because she mentioned that she was an initiate because you weren't able to see her awakened status because she's masked. So yeah, you go out the back and you see Madame Zhao is sat there with tea and a very, very feminine cigarette that's in her hand with the teacup as she's working at what looks like a prehistoric cyber terminal.
Cat will raise an eyebrow to that, but make no comment.
Ah, Kat.
Hello,
How are
Madame Xiao. I am feeling alright. It's been a bit of a busy few days, and was
You look a
wondering
bit
if you
pale. Are
had.
you sure?
Well, that was the celebration of surviving those busy few days. That's nothing to worry about.
She as you say that, she stands up and goes to her little tea chest that's on the side, and she gets out a few things, puts them into a pot, and starts making tea. So what brings you here? What can I do you for, Kat?
I was hoping you had that power focus ready for me.
Yes, it's been ready for a few days now. I was wondering when you would.
Yeah, been busy, kind of away.
It's
This is great news.
It's a very unusual piece, but hey, if this is that's what you felt you needed.
Well, I gave you freedom to do, to do what you
Yeah.
felt appropriate. So I stand by that choice.
Well, I was inspired. Your your totem and your aura did inspire me to create a particular piece. And she goes over to what looks like a very, very sturdy sort of armored safe type cabinet, opens a drawer and pulls out an item. It's a sort of like a jeweler's box, and she hands it over.
Open it and peer inside, kind of holding my breath.
It is a black leather choker with what look like orichalcum studs and a little brass bell.
Huh. I will sense it. And do you want me to roll or?
No, you can. It is the power focus.
Yeah, I'm not I'm looking at it on the astral. So I'm looking at the construction, if it makes sense. How it is astrally and stuff.
Okay, what are you looking for?
I'm just I'm appreciating her work basically. I'm not looking for anything mechanically, but
Okay, it's you can tell that the choker and the studs were all handmade. Suspect by Madame Zhao herself. The leather work is particularly fine. It's good quality leather. Looks like it could well even be handmade and tanned manually without going anywhere near an automated process at all. The studs are not uniform, very slightly not uniform, as if they are handmade and pressed in. The clasp is a fairly stock clasp, but That's not part of the enchanted telesma. And neither is the bell. The bell is not required for the enchantment to be in full effect. In fact, you notice
So-
that it has a little clasp so that it can be removed.
So the only thing that's part of the actual focus is the the chocolate itself, the leather thing.
Yep, the leather and the orichalcum studs are the telesma that have been enchanted. The clasp is an afterthought. Well, not an afterthought. It was added afterwards so that it could possibly be changed for another type of clasp or another closure fitting or something like that. And the bell is also removed. It looks basically like a cat's flea collar, but for a human-sized person with orichalcum studs in it.
That's not what I expected, but it's beautiful.
It is a work of art. You are impressed with the craftsmanship.
You know, I'll take this 100 times over another wand. I mean, how much do those wizards need to compensate? Am I right?
Madame Zhao hands you a cup of tea, and as she chuckles in agreement. Yes, I have seen some of them with what must be one size to compensate for something, and in some cases that's including their power.
Cat will very thankfully drink the tea, which I'm expecting to be delicious.
It's her own blend of herbal tea designed to soothe a body after a big night out. It's delicious, and you feel after a minute or two that it's the herbs are infusing into your system and easing your pained mind and body. Herbal hangover cure, basically.
You come through once again. This I cannot say if I should praise your foci or your team, or please don't take this as an offense to your handiwork.
Oh, I studied for many years under my grandmother and great grandmother. Herbalism was the first manifestation of magic in my village. Madame Zhao does look like she could be old enough to have been a small child at the awakening.
Well, it's certainly paid off. It's absolutely delicious. Madam, since I'm here, may I trouble you with a few questions?
By all means, dear. What can I enlighten you with?
These toxic creature attacks, we've been seeing them on the news all of the time and seem to be getting worse, or at least spreading where they shouldn't.
They do seem to be getting more frequent, don't they?
Do you know why or how? Have you heard anything on the topic?
No, not that I've heard, but my suspicion is that the efforts we are making to cleanse the blight from our lands is angering the creatures that have been touched by the blight to the point where they are lashing out more frequently than they would. That's what I'm feeling. That's my gut instinct, but I have no evidence to back that up, and I certainly wouldn't feel comfortable airing that to someone who wasn't as in tune with the land as yourself.
That makes sense. An awful sort of sense, but it's ironic that our efforts to improve the situation are making it worse, even if it's only temporarily.
Well, yes, it is. Hopefully temporary, but so far the Excalibur division have demonstrated that they are more than up to the task. Those young boys and girls, wow! Seeing them in action this morning on the TV, that was stirring stuff.
It was. Well, thank you for your time, and I will not trouble you anymore. I will let you know how the bonding process goes. I expect no issue, and well, thank you for your time.
Out of character, were you going to ask about the axe?
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry, I forgot. Oh, before I forget, I don't know if you remember that toxic mage we brought down. I brought some of his foci back, and I was considering binding his axe, but that damn thing is way too big for me to be able to use it at all. Would you be able to fit it with maybe some sort of telescopic handle? Any such thing?
Do you have the focus with you?
Can we say that it's in the car?
Yeah, sure.
I have it in the car.
Okay, bring it in and let me examine it. I may be able to do something. It depends on which part of the focus or which part of the weapon was the telesma and which part was not. If you know what
Makes
I mean.
sense. So I will bring her the thing.
When you bring it in, she sort of almost recoils from it. The blatantly violent nature of such a weapon is almost contrary to her nature. She's a very kindly old grandmother. But she takes it from you as you offer it to her, and she places it in a in a cradle on a what looks like a prepared workbench with enchanted symbols and the usual bits. You're not actually perceiving or channeling or anything at the moment, are you?
Not channeling, but I will astrally perceive to see her work. It sounds like very promising, actually.
Okay, she you know that you're inside her, and you see that the area immediately around her workbench has been geomantically tuned to provide her with an optimal working environment. She examines it, takes her sort of 10 or 15 minutes to examine the focus. You see her, you see tendrils of mana coming from her old clawed hands as she probes the enchantment. You see her brow furrows a few times, and after about 15 minutes, she turns to you and says, "It's a fairly crude enchantment. I believe I can reweave its the mana in it to encompass something to make it a little bit more portable. I've heard of some innovative processes that allow modern telescopic handles to be added to foci. I will have to look into that. I have a few acquaintances who have proven fairly adept at that. Obviously, weaponry is not really something I deal with much myself, but I know an artificer who is well, he prefers to call himself a master machine, and he is not only excellent, he is someone who has made weapon foci for some of the most powerful combat mages on the planet.
Well,
I believe I can convince him to spend a few moments or a few days working on this. Did you have a particular time frame for this? I do not believe it'll be a quick process.
Absolutely not. You're offering me more than I could ever ask.
Okay, leave it with me. I will contact you once it is suitably modified. I will see about the balance as well. It's fairly crude.
Yeah, I don't think the orc that was using it was very bothered about such things as finesse. And Kat will visibly shudder at thinking back about Steve the orc.
Would you not rather something a bit more to your style? I may be able to persuade my acquaintance to provide you with an alternative. I'm fairly sure he will be able to make use of this particular weapon, some of his other clients, and get something a little bit more, should we say, something more suiting a child of such as yourself.
Kat will take that suggestion very seriously and take a second to think inwardly about what was his name, the druid's name.
Eddie No.
Yeah, about Eddie No's words, about what Kat would like, and he will think really hard. I don't know if there is any role you want to give me, any suggestions you want to give me as either Kat or what I would know.
Give me a magic plus arcana roll.
Ooh, I'm good at this.
A grade plus arcana roll.
Initiate grade?
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 hits. And I will edge that because this is important. 2 Kat at least. So that's, okay, 4 hits total. I didn't think of bringing Lycan.
If you want, we can say she's there. Lycan can drink coffee at Madame Zhao's Talismonger shop.
Nice.
You kind of reach out with you reach part of you into the meta plane. You sort of feel a tendril of your consciousness drifting to the meta plane of beast, and you hear a very sultry female voice in the back of your head answering your silent questions. Says, "We must flow around we must toy with them and strike from the darkness when they least expect it."
Kat will smile openly, like the second time he's heard Kat, I think.
You're not sure if it's
First one-
Cat or an avatar of Cat. Avatars aren't something in the 5th edition, but initiates used to get an avatar, an aspect totem.
Well,
which This is what you're hearing, basically.
I mean, sure, but it's somebody speaking in the name of God, not God. It's
Yeah,
God
no,
enough.
yeah. It is. It's your mental, your totem touching response to your question. After you smile, the aspect of cats is that is more in tune with Wolf, his brood. You require something more, and yet less.
That's yes, and I will open my eyes and look at Madame Xiao and say, I think you must be my lucky talismonger. Your suggestion is it's great. So, are we going to say that Lycan is here? I forgot about that in character.
If Lycan wants to be there to meet Madame Zhao, she most certainly can be. I have no problem saying that she's there.
Cat would have offered.
Okay, fine. I'm there. Let's say I'm there.
Yeah. So
Okay.
at some point, Cat will introduce Lycan, and this is Lycan, who's a newcomer to our small group. He's quite a combatant herself.
Hi, glad to meet you.
As you put your hand out to meet her, she sort of hesitates momentarily as she senses your aura, and you see her gingerly take your hand and then turn to look at where the spurs eject from your hands when you deploy them.
Yeah.
You follow Wolf in that way. Why am I not surprised?
I don't know. Why aren't you surprised?
I've met a couple of people who follow Wolf in a similar vein. They too believed that enchanting their cybernetic weaponry was key to their success. And in the case of these two brothers, they are very successful. They have felled many foes with their weapons. Personally, I don't favour that practice, but it's hard to argue with their success and their potency in combat. They are stirring to behold, even for someone as opposed to overt violence as myself.
I knew bringing you here was a good idea.
Well, it is different from person to person what you believe, but I think this is a way I will get most out of myself. Be the best warrior.
That is a sentiment I find entirely unsurprising from a child of Wolf. You serve your totem well. I can see that your magic is stronger than some would believe, considering your holistic integrity or your essence. But I do worry that you are going down that same slippery slope as the two brothers.
I am talking about.
Oh, you know exactly who she's talking about.
Yeah. Then Lycan squints at her, like she's trying to figure out exactly what she means. She said,
You notice that Madame Zhao has absolutely no cyberware whatsoever. She's not even wearing trodes or anything else of that matter. She has an antique cyber terminal, and everything seems to be throwbacks in her shop. The girl out front, her granddaughter, she is embracing technology to a point. But yeah, you get the feeling that the Madame Zhao is opposed to the awakened getting implants, but she knows people who have, and she respects their decision and how they handle it.
Actually, I should try to sense her as well. It would be with my oldest, because I've not.
Well, you had time to learn to train
Did I?
in the sensing. Yeah, you've
Alright.
got that by now, so don't worry.
So I got 3 hits on Miss Xiao.
Madame Zhao is awakened. She is a enchanter. She's not able to cast spells or summon spirits, but she is able to work with the enchanting arts. She's an aspected magician, basically. She is very powerful. Her initiate grade is several times that of Cat, let alone you. You think she's probably about a grade 6, grade 7. Her magic is 3 times yours at least. No cyberware, no any essence loss of any kind. Her aura is rich and vibrant and pulsing with light and love and energy. You get the feeling that she is committed to non-violence. She has a mentor, but you can't quite place it, but it's one of the non-violent ones. You're not sure if it's dove or horse or possibly one of the more material-minded crafter ones. You're not sure.
Right. But as he starts saying stuff about Lycan replies, well, you certainly seem to have your opinions about and how they follow that. So do you follow a specific yourself?
I do. I follow Firebringer as the bringer of knowledge of the flame to mankind. He speaks to me as a great crafter and weaponsmith of renown throughout the ages.
Well, that's not surprising, actually.
I refer to him as the almighty artisan.
I should have known, she says, looking around.
Yes, I'm not gifted in sorcery or conjury, but I have earned some moderate renown for my creation. She points to the power focus that Cat has in him.
Oh, not in his hand anymore. He has it like he's put it on and it's jingling the bell.
He's dingling the bell.
Yeah.
She gestures to the axe. I believe this is more your kind of weapon, Lycan.
Sure, I might be able to use that. I prefer the spurs, maybe, but I'm not
I never
really.
thought of giving it to you. I'm sorry about that.
You thought of giving the axe to me.
No, I said that I never thought of giving it to you. I'm sorry.
I'm not trained in using an axe. Don't think about it.
Madame Zhao asks Lycan to extend her spurs so that she can examine them without the clutter of Lycan's aura.
Yeah, like in
And it's so cool.
You see, actually, Lycan, what do your spurs look like?
they are like sort. I imagine them being black grayish, sort of like you can get those knives. I don't know the name of the metal. That's where it's like twisted and around and has some sort of pattern where it's
Okay.
dark and gray. I can try finding a reference image for it sometime. It's a name. It's
Yeah, I know
type-
what you mean.
type
I
of
can't think of the
making
name
metal.
either. Yeah.
I imagine them like that.
Okay. Are they traditional style?
Perhaps.
That
Yeah.
could well be what I'm thinking of. Are they traditional Wolverine styles? 3, 1 between each knuckle, or just
Yeah,
2?
the traditional Wolverine style.
That's a great phrase. Yes.
You
Is it weapon X or weapon 23? X23. 2 or 3 of them.
It's 3.
Okay, so it's full Logan.
Yeah.
Madame Zhao spends a few minutes examining them. As you look on the astral, she repeats an abridged version of the same sort of examination ritual that she did with the axe. And she says, I'm impressed with the craftsmanship. The enchantment is not powerful of itself, but is woven in a intriguing manner. I would like to study these at some point. Weapon foci are not my specialty, but these are interesting, very interesting. Yes, I would very much like to study them. Should you ever wish to upgrade to a more potent focus, I would be willing to take these blades from you, and I'm sure I can provide you with something equally as aesthetically pleasing and yet magically more powerful. Obviously not right now. I appreciate that we've just met, but perhaps some other time you would allow me to assist you in such a manner.
Well, sure. I will tell to that. Yeah, sometime eventually.
Okay, I appreciate that the all foci are a significant investment in both one's life energy and Nuyen. So yes, but when the time comes, I would appreciate the opportunity to help you achieve your aims. Possibly even one for the other hand. The two brothers have them in both hands. They are fairly adept at using them both at the same time to great effect. As I said, I don't approve of such actions myself, but the brothers they're a sight to see. They really are.
I know they are. But anyway, when the time
have
comes,
you met
I'll
them?
know what you are. Yeah, one of them,
May I ask which one?
the older.
You've met the War Mage, the Lightning, the Stormcaller. Yes.
Yeah,
he's,
I met
to
him.
get those
I
cool
met him
names?
once.
Sorry, what was that, Cat?
What do I need to do to get those cool names?
Have more initiate grades than some dragons.
Hey, I'm all about the lightning.
Yeah, you would need to have various masteries and other qualities to define your focus incredibly narrowly, or
Yeah,
specialize incredibly
kidding.
into a particular. Yeah. So you've sorry, Lycan, what were you saying?
I was just saying, but yeah, I'll definitely one from the other hand when time comes. I'll know where you are.
Indeed. You see sort of put a hand over the back of your hand, and This is the same arrangement that the brothers have. I don't have skill with cybernetics, but once the blades are removed from the mechanism, I will be able to assist you appropriately.
Yeah, of course.
If and when you wish to get the actual mechanism improved, increase the grade, I believe they said. I will be able to assist you with the preparatory and post, removing the blades and keeping them safe for you while that is done. I will do that for you. That will give me a chance to examine the enchantment, make sure that you don't risk losing them in wherever.
Sure, I appreciate that. I'll remember it.
She makes small talk for a few moments, and then after probably about another 10 or 15 minutes, Kat and Lycan walk out of the shop and head home, I guess.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. I cannot wait till I get home and I can bind this thing.
So the following day, you head down to the address. I take it all of you are going to pick up your new armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you head down to the address. It is an address in a industrial estate in between Maidenhead and Burnham. You go in there, and it looks like a very, very ordinary industrial unit. Grey walls, partly sheathed in metal, roughly corrugated iron. Not roughly, large corrugations. The sort of ones that are like 8 inches wide in each corrugation and flat. Sort of the top half, and then the roof at the top that's mainly flat but does have a bit of a slope, and it's a large roller door and a normal sized door to the side of it. You knock on the door, and a boy of 14, 15 opens the door. So, who are you?
Customers?
Of who? You do have the guy's name.
Of what's the name of this guy's name?
So, yeah, all right. You're the ones with the biggies.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Big game.
The big badabooms, the big guns.
Yeah, big badabooms. That's us.
Okay, yeah. Come, drive in. Come through. The large roller door starts sliding up. He closes the main door, or the little door. As you go inside, you see that the place is. It looks like an armor facility, basically. Well, it is an armor facility. There's forges and blacksmith tools and lathes and more modern equipment and all of the stuff that you would expect in an armor facility. Racks and racks and racks of weapons. huge workbenches with 2 or 3 people working away. And the guy that you met yesterday, the previous day and previous time at Blackbush, Tim the Armorer, Timmy A as people call him, walks over and says, glad you can make it. Hope you didn't have any issues getting here or were followed.
None at all.
No to both of those.
As you look round, you see that this guy has an assortment of automatics and long arms, but no heavy weapons of any kind except for the odd grenade launcher here and there. He does have a couple of alphas on the side.
Well, soon you will have some.
So you brought them?
Yeah. Who had those? I don't think we ever discussed that.
Whoever can fit him in their car.
I think that's you.
Yeah, would be definitely.
Yeah.
So were the cars parked outside, or are the cars inside too?
You can bring all of the cars inside if you want.
Might be smarter than to park the car inside, and so we don't have to carry the weapons inside of the building.
Well, yeah,
where people can see us carrying weapons we shouldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking the ones with the weapons in the trunks drove in. The others, if you want to drive them, you can. The other bit, or you can leave them outside.
Yeah, so I definitely drove my car inside.
As you open the boots, you see this guy. He's a middle-aged human, and you see him turn into a little girl as he sees the panther. Oh, I've always dreamed of seeing one of these. And lovingly caresses it and picks it up out of the boot. And can see him. He looks like he's getting a bit of a chubby, actually.
Love at first sight.
Yeah, these things are they're hard enough for most places, but under the NDM and the LPO, these things were like rocking horse shit. Could have done with one of these about 7 years ago. But that's a story for another time.
Better late than never, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You can see he's sort of looking at the weapon now, examining the damage and trying to sort of work out exactly how much work it's going to be and everything else.
Yeah, previous owners weren't happy to depart with. I mean, we bought them completely fair and square.
Oh, of course, yes. So he takes the 2 weapons out, or he and one of his associates, and put them on a workbench, and he's looking them over. About 5 minutes later, he comes back and tells you what I've already told you about a character, that they need 30% in repairs. So he offers you a figure, which we discussed during the week, And he says, "Okay, for your armor, call it 11 a piece, seeing as you're buying in bulk and you've got these fine items to trade. I trust that's acceptable to everyone."
That sounds fair.
One of the shop boys looks like an apprentice, sort of late teens, like the boy who answered the door, but maybe a year or two older. Goes out the back and brings out a box which has 6 suits of custom fitted big game hunter. He calls out names and hands you the appropriate suits. And this is there's a change room over there if you want to try them on. We can make any final adjustments if necessary.
Ooh, nice.
Does it look like what I wanted it to look like?
It does.
Very much changed
Lycan
into
looks
it.
excited.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
wants to try it out.
She definitely has to try it on now.
Lycan, is this what the armor in that picture you have in your sheet looks like?
Yeah, something like that, I imagine.
Okay.
Probably has a like some sort of camo pattern by default, but you can electrochromatic.
Yeah, it should have a camo.
But you have the electrochromatic thingy magic, so you can turn it into anything you want.
Default, it's sort of a black and sort of very dark grey urban camouflage pattern, but it has electrochromatic, so you can change it to whatever you want. Basically, for Lycan's suit, it looks exactly like naturally the one that she has a picture of. For Farron, it looks exactly like naturally the one that she looks like. You know, all of that. Aesthetically, you can pick what it looks like. I don't care. Mechanically, it's big game hunter with electrochromic and all of the other mods as described before.
Yeah, from looks it would be the pictures I showed.
Once you've all tried on your armor and come out and they've examined the fit and done any last minute tweaks necessary, Timmy A calls Kat over. Says, "Yeah, you the item you asked for."
Yeah.
He hands you a composite sort of plasteel, slightly reinforced gun case. Puts it on one of the workbenches and opens it up for you to look at.
I will take a look at it. And don't know much about assault rifles, so I assume like I have the picture of the Yamaha Raid in my head. I look, it's the same gun, and other than that, I don't have much else to do.
Okay, yeah, someone who was an expert, say 4 or 5 ranks in automatics, with maybe a rank or 2 in armorer, particularly with assault rifle specialization.
Yeah, probably like take it off the case and show it to the group.
There was something I wanted to ask. The big game hunter, so Farron can use her spurs with it. Would it be special made that when she extends them, so the forearm armor opens up, that the what's it called? The
Disperse.
No, the arm part of the jacket. Let's say the arms.
The sleeves.
Sleeves. Thanks. Oh, that the sleeves move back with the armor part too, so she can wear the jacket without having to worry that she destroys it when opening the spurs.
Yeah, I believe Farron and Banshee have similar arrangements for their spurs. Apply from the forearm. Those are some of the tweaks that they make. Once you arrive, you mention it, and they're able to make sure that it doesn't damage the suit when you deploy your cyber spurs.
Yeah, so right now she's testing it. I'm
That's
clearly
good.
impressed.
If Lycan and Banshee spot the Raiden in Kat's hands, you'll notice that it is customized with the usual bells and whistles that you would expect from a fully compensated, tooled up, modified combat weapon, stock pad, gas vent. Did you go for the improved rangefinder on that Cat, or did you?
Honestly, I would have probably looked at what Farron was getting for her gun and basically copied it.
Okay, in that case, you have gas vent 3, stock pad, shock pad, personalized grip, the suppressors built in, so smart link, and a foregrip if you want. A very fine weapon indeed.
Yeah, if you just
So everything I had built inside of my FNR, FNR, HR, whatever, then there would also be a advanced safety system, electro and chameleon coating. If
I can
copied.
fit it, basically I
Oh.
would be like following you when you were doing those shopping and taking notes in my brain, like in my mind.
And
So I will.
it
yeah.
would be like, wow, that's a very nice weapon, Cat. I still don't get why you need that,
It's not
but
for
it's
me,
nice indeed. It's not
and
for
I will.
you.
And I will pass it over
At
to.
this point, Farron is probably examining her FNR that's been identically modified, testing it and putting it to her shoulder and just sort of feeling the weight of it.
Put it on Farron's hands and be like, okay, this is how you deal with fire spirits, not with your fists, all right?
Wait, with this What do you mean exactly?
I mean that you use this to attack fire spirit.
So you're just giving me the gun you just bought?
Well, I don't want my teammates dying over being unable to deal with fire spirit, basically.
So she's just looking confused at the new gun in her one hand and the gun she just bought off the dead guy. They just call it like that.
That one will make a great backup weapon if you need it, I'm sure. Look, I asked our resident there, and he will point at Lycan, and she said this was the best assault rifle around, especially if you want to be sneaky, which you are very good at.
Yeah, you're really killing me, Cat. Why are you doing all of this?
Because you guys almost died. Let's keep this soapy conversation to once we are done with business.
Yeah, she just puts both guns away, so it's just somebody can put them away on and gives Cat a hug.
Cat will return it. And yeah, tell me how much it costs. You've got the time.
Yeah,
Quite a lot.
Yeah, we can do it over the week or what.
yeah. I'll need Farron to just confirm exactly everything that was added on so that I can give the correct price.
Oh, the things you said were the correct things, just 4 spare clips were. But I could just take those spare clips from the other guns. I mean, no, they're bigger, so I can't.
It's fine. That's
Yeah. Fine.
We can.
Four spare clips is 20 new yen. They've got plenty of them lying around.
Yeah, we just spent how much? 60, 80K here?
Yeah, something like that. They'll throw in a few spare clips.
They just throw them after you. You want a gun? Here, take those spare clips.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyone that was buying ammunition, they'll hand that over as well. They don't have much stock at the market because obviously, occasionally it does get raided, occasionally. So they tend to sort of take orders and then refer people here, at some point later so that they can pick everything up because they can't do customizations and stuff at the market, particularly things like chameleon coating that need hours and hours of work from a trained armorer. So once everyone has collected their equipment and suits are tried on and fitted and modifications made to forearms so that spurs can be used and everything else, and everyone's picked up their ammunition and new weapons, new yen has been exchanged, I'm assuming everyone's going to leave, or are you going to attempt to purchase more weaponry because there are quite a few lying around?
Is that one of those extra short shotguns?
Which shotguns?
There is a shotgun that's very short by default. No, there is a shotgun. I think it's as concealable as a heavy pistol. That's the point with that shotgun. No, there is an actual shotgun. Give me a second.
Don't know which one you're talking about.
The Defiance T250 short barrel.
What's the availability on that?
3R.
Yeah, there's a few lying around.
Yeah, Cat will buy one.
Okay. Just work out how much it will cost with all the mods you want on it. They'll be able to sort that out fairly quick.
Not sure I'm putting any mods on it.
Well, maybe SmartLink and personalized grip. That's better, probably.
Yeah, okay, I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that.
Yeah, they have internal and external SmartLink variants. Just choose whichever one you want to pay for. And personalized grip takes all about half an hour's worth of work and 100 new yens. Not a big deal.
Hey, Farron.
Hmm?
You should bring your new rifle to practice. Also because I really want to try it. But because you should practice shooting.
Yeah, I really should. I was also thinking about practicing.
Sure, you want to go sometime?
Sure. I was just about asking you because I think you were good at airsoft rifles, as I saw that you had one. But I guess you beat me to asking you.
Well, cool. Let's find a date sometime. Remember to bring that new rifle. I really want to try it.
I will. Actually, I will bring both of them. Would be kind of sad if I just bought all of the extra stuff and never got to use it.
So you just have to buy a new rifle, I guess.
And a helicopter. Still not going to picnics with you anymore on places like this, Cat. Even if you give me an awesome assault rifle.
Yeah, that might have had something to do with the gift.
About the date thing, Perry would just suggest that you can say any time or date, and she would have time as there isn't any run right now that they have to take part of, so a lot of free time. Unless Connie has other plans.
Connie always has other plans, but yeah. Okay. At this point, we're going to go to an epic training montage of everyone in the party doing various training. Lycan is training Farron with assault rifles, and in the process, she's training herself in instruction. Venus, what is your part of the training montage? Okay, there's several sports centers around which have indoor climbing walls. Okay, you can go to the same range as Farron and Lycan. They can handle that as well.
Yeah, Farron could even teach Venus to shoot pistols.
I think both Farron and Lycan could help instruct Venus in shooting. Bird watching is always a good idea.
Okay, you guys are talking about all of these things, and you know what I keep thinking? We should do like a weekend out, the mountains or whatever, and do all of this training. No, no picnics. No one taking up on the picnic. No. Okay.
Well, we're going on a hunting trip, remember?
Yeah, I was hoping the rest would join in a way or another.
Is it the toxic zone?
No, we need like actual deers and stuff.
The day after you guys pick up your armor, Banshee goes in to visit his illicit street doc cyber clinic guy and gets some another implant. Also, wasn't it just Dragonhide or Dragonhide and okay, not a problem. You've already Venus already rolled for those, so you get your beta wear ortho skin implanted. Are you just going to heal it up yourself? Okay, it's $3, not a big deal. Wayfarer, what skills or other stuff are you doing? Okay, so for the next sort of 4 or 5 days, there's an epic training montage. As a whole bunch of people do various training activities. Venus spends some time at the range with Farron and Lycan, and she wears skimpy sports clothes as she's doing a bunch of climbing and various other stuff. Maybe some dance thrown in as well for good measure. Balancing and everything else as part of gymnastics.
Maybe even Connie went with them.
Yeah, entirely possible. Yeah, she does look good in sports gear. Wayfarer is spending a lot of time at a workbench, just improving and working on various technical related skills. The camera flashes momentarily to Banshee as he's lying on a surgical bed with various machines and doctors and stuff and everything around him as he's getting his entire skin replaced. The camera switches to Kat as he's in his lodge meditating over that power focus to bond it.
And a threat bites his ear because I haven't been able to train him yet.
Yep, there's significant biting of ears and fingers from a ferret that hasn't been house trained fully yet. And the epic training montage finishes and everyone has completed their downtime activity.
Yay!
Day after the montage ends, you will get a message from Eric to pop by the Copper Horse. He has a business opportunity for you.
Business is always good.
There was just something I wanted to say because during the montage, I guess everyone that spent time with Lycan would know her better now. So Farron would actually say to her that she really wished she could tell her, but she just doesn't know herself.
Oh, was that to me? Was that to Lycan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She might have said that at some point.
Lycan has sort of a light-hearted attitude, so she would just be like, "Oh, don't worry about it. We don't always know ourselves that well. I'm sure you'll know time." Meaning she doesn't really get that you have a.
That's okay if she doesn't get it.
She doesn't.
Okay, so I take it everyone is going to meet at the Copper Horse to see Eric?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Eric is in his usual place. He has a glass of scotch and a cigar on the go. There's a lot of people drinking scotch and smoking cigars at the moment. Wearing his usual attire of faded synth denim jeans, very high-topped sort of parachute-type combat boots that are unlaced above the ankle and sort of flayed out in a sort of inverse flare-type way with the jeans tucked in. He has a white T-shirt and his traditional sort of punk leather waistcoat with studs over it and chains hanging off. His head is as freshly shaven as always, and as you walk into the Copper Horse into the saloon area, the lounge area, he is waving one of his hand with the stogie around as if he's manipulating AROs. As he spots you, he sort of gives a final gesture, blushing everything aside. Says, come in. Take a seat."
Taking the usual seat.
Yeah.
Getting in and taking.
How's it going?
Yeah. This is good. Yeah. The reason I called you here, I have a Mr. Johnson who requires your services. Do you all have sea legs?
Okay. Not particularly. No.
Swimming is under athletics, right?
Sorry?
Swimming is under athletics, right?
Yes.
I have
sea legs.
Oh man, I haven't been to the sea forever. This promises to be fun.
Okay, it involves a ship.
Ship isn't a boat.
He he kind of cocks an eyebrow at Venus. Is yeah, ships are bigger. A smuggler acquaintance of mine. He requires some extra security for a pickup. I thought of you guys because you've been
Super subtle?
successful. Eric looks at Kat and sort of cocks an eyebrow. Yeah, that's what you've been. Yeah, this guy needs security who can cover all the bases, so to speak. So I naturally thought of you guys. I haven't because I try to not know more than I need to know. However, I can tell you that Mr. Johnson is Captain Adams. If anyone has any smuggler or organized crime related knowledge skills, feel free to roll them. Not mafia, no. Black market. Yeah, organized crime definitely applies. Okay. Wayfarer, you've heard of a guy a few years ago who went by the name of Captain Adams, but that's all you know. You just like, yeah, I think he smuggles. Venus is not someone that you're familiar with. So he says, yeah, he works out of Southampton. So if you guys want to head down there, an ARO appears in the matrix in front of you as an address and a com code. He's expecting you at some point this afternoon. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know duration, what, when. I just know he needs a few extra hands who can handle themselves for security purposes.
Sounds great. Sounds like a plan.
I've had dealings with him before. He's one of the guys that I go to when I need special deliveries, if you get my drift. He's mainly a smuggler, but he has done some coyote work to Africa in the past, not so much lately.
Well, if you trust him, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, same.
I trust him to honor a contract, if that's but that's about as far as any of us can trust anyone in the shadows nowadays. I'll bid you guys good day. I have some business to attend to, so bon voyage. He's like most smugglers out of our ports, they tend to only sail at night, so I would imagine you'll have a few to make arrangement need to. A little over 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours drive. It's not very far. Southampton's fairly close. Okay, you're cool. Most of you have got smuggling apartments and stuff, so that's not an issue.
I'm pretty sure I don't have one.
Okay, well, Farron now has a big gun that's probably going to need one.
Hide it under the seat.
Yeah, like Cat does in his Jackrabbit with his sniper rifle.
It has a smuggling compartment.
What, the engine bay?
Yes. Do I need a new car? Is that what I'm hearing?
Just as long as you've got a smuggling compartment in it, that's not a problem. So yeah, we now know what's on Farron's shopping list for the next paycheck you get.
Yeah, all of the car upgrades I had to get.
Okay, so you guys gonna split up, get your gear, and head down there?
Yeah, but before, when everyone leaves the room, Farron would just stay there a little bit longer and ask, I had a blackout. Ask Eric if he heard anything. And I apologize that if she's annoying him with that stuff.
Sorry, refresh my memory. That's about the serial number?
Yeah, the serial number and the DNA test.
Okay. Yes, he has. He's had a hit on the serial number. It is a serial number for a wired reflexes system that was manufactured by Telestrian Industries and purchased several years ago, possibly around 2068 in Tiernanog.
Oh.
Come on, you're out of date.
He says that it was one of the first of the new wireless enabled wired reflexes system. At the time, it was state of the art. The bleeding edge at the time.
Yeah, I suppose that the old firm would agree that removing it was a good idea, though. Anyway, thanks for the information. I have to see what I can do with this. But at least I know something now.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Just if you need anything else, let me know. If you find anything else out, let me know. I'll try and help as best I can. Still waiting on that DNA test. It's searching for someone's DNA is in order to not raise a whole bunch of red flags. It's very difficult to do quickly. I'm trying to be as careful as possible to not compromise you, but it's taking a while.
I have faith in you. You know what you're doing, and maybe poking into something that we shouldn't poke because of doing it too fast isn't a good idea anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Have you had any revelations of late?
Not so much. Only that I seem to be in the knowledge of security procedures,
Okay.
and apparently I know how to eat lobster, but that's quite random.
You know how to eat lobster. When
Yes.
did you get to eat lobster?
Yeah.
Never mind. Never mind. It's none of my business. None of my business.
I just was for thinking about how I could say it in a diplomatic way as I might tell you someday, but not right now. Because she seems interested in it. It's kind of funny. It's actually quite random that she knows how to eat lobster.
It is quite
Yeah.
random. That's probably why I was interested.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it once I know some more about this lobster eating stuff. But
Yeah, you have a
yes,
ship to catch.
when I ate it, I just keep it for a secret right now.
Yeah, fine. Not a problem. It's to be expected. I won't keep you too long. You've got a ship to catch.
Yeah, I have.
But actually, if it is possible, before we leave, drag him to the side and wants to ask him. But it seems like Farron took up a lot of his time.
Well, you can wait around in the other side of the bar, and
Yeah, I thought something like that. So Lycan goes like, well, I wanted to ask you now that I'm going to work with these people on a regular basis, and we were in
These
such a
people?
rush. These people, we were in such a rush last time. But I just wanted to know: is there anything I should know about them? Anything that they might not tell me, or they might not know that I should?
no, no, not really. I mean, they're Shadowrunners. They've only been working with me for a few months, 3, 4, maybe 5 months. Pulled off a few jobs. Yeah, I mean, you've seen how they operate, so you know better than I do about them.
Yeah, I do. I just I figured you'd know them longer than I have. But it's fine. I just wanted to ask you. But thanks again for giving.
Yeah, always willing to help out a former. Yeah, you know that.
I know that. Have a nice day. And it leaves.
You too, Lycan. Have a good one. Bon voyage. Okay, so everyone's going to gear up and get their gear and drive down to Southampton.
Yep.
Okay. Who's picking up Wayfarer?
Are you scared of that too?
Anti-drowning things. Well, there's life vests, and there's breathing gear, and there's oxygenate spells.
Wouldn't stuff like this be on the ship normally?
Lycan does know that usually they will have that sort of thing, but
Yeah.
on a ship you wouldn't really worry about it too much. If someone goes overboard, you throw them a life ring.
Yeah, exactly.
To your question about who picks Wayfarer up, if no one else has anything, Farron would just drive to his place because she did it most of the time.
Okay. And Banshee, what are you taking with you on your bike? Are you taking blatantly illegal full body armor and an assault rifle and ammunition on your bike?
Yes, do it.
Seeing as everyone else is bringing their full field kit, you probably want to ask someone to either take your kit with them or go with them in their car.
So, do you need a lift? I can drive you and your equipment.
You really want to drive with me again and have an awkward talk like last time?
It's not an awkward talk. I don't know. What are you talking about? It's not awkward. It's normal talking. Nope. This one is not. It was just you. You were just commenting on our last very, very awkward conversation and just saying it's not awkward, it's a normal one. Wait.
How can you link
Wayfarer
a Banshee
is
if he's in a
not in.
different car?
Wayfarer
Yeah.
is not in the car.
Yeah, it's probably happening, 20th century style with like vocal cords and stuff again.
Ugh. Yeah, Wayfarer, you're the sad person who has to sit on a real comfy chair inside of a real nice car. You can't talk to people in different cars.
Well, you can, but only if they choose it.
Yeah.
He can just annoy us in the channel.
So a normal day then. You'll get to you pick everyone up and grab your gear, and I'm not going to worry too much right now about what you're taking because you don't know and you have the opportunity to come back. You make your way to Southampton docks. Takes you, including stopping off and maybe getting some lunch or whatever, it takes you all about 3 hours. So it's about 3:30 in the afternoon by the time you arrive at the docks. You have sort of a map, an ARO map, an address and everything. It leads you to one of the smaller berths across the quay from where all of the large cruise ships leave from. the ones that sort of go around the Med and the Atlantic, even up north around the Arctic Circle and Greenland, Iceland, all of that lot. There's several in various stages of boarding and unloading. The berth that you are directed to has a small, looks like it used to be a sort of a large fishing boat or trawler of some kind. As far as ships go, it's sort of small. As far as boats go, it's large, probably 50 or 60 meters long, maybe as much as 15 meters at the beam. It's tied up. There's a fairly substantial gangplank with some like a bit like a helicopter, like an airplane boarding ramp going up to a fairly substantial metal walkway that goes across, attaches to the deck of the ship. Well, it doesn't attach, but it is on the deck of the ship. At the bottom of the stairs, there's a fairly salty sea dog looking type, fairly heavily tattooed, wearing an armored vest over what looks like a sick and sweat stained and possibly alcohol stained t-shirt. What looked like sort of fairly heavy, possibly even waterproof, sort of like wader type trousers. Not waders because they're Wellington boots basically, but sort of treated trousers that are designed to repel water to a degree, and ankle length leather boots with laces on the front. He is armed. He has a knife on his vest on his left side at the top, sort of stereotypical Hollywood Special Forces style. Those of you with any skill of any kind know that's particularly inappropriate, but hey, and what looks like an Ares Predator or something of that ilk, maybe a Manhunter or something, a heavy pistol in a what looks like a quick draw holster on his hip. He doesn't bat an eyelid at all. When you walk up to him and ask for Captain Adams, he just points you up the stairs as he continues rolling a hand-rolled cigarette. You walk up, and I'm assuming you will board the ship.
Yep.
He just pointed up the stairs, as in head on up and aboard the ship, basically. Okay. As you look around the ship, you see that there is a sort of a 4-deck superstructure from midships towards the bow. After that, there is a fairly substantial lifting rig, sort of crane/derrick hoist type arrangement. Looks like it can handle several tons at any given time. There is a hole in the deck, which looks like it used to be where the massive fish haul nets were emptied out into what has now been turned into a sort of a general cargo area. There is sliding doors which can be used to enclose that area, but they're currently open, and you see that it's largely empty. There are a few deckhands rummaging around various places, coming in and out of doors and just sort of going through pre-sea checks. Those of you with military experience are fairly familiar with this. Those of you that have been in merchant vessels are familiar with it as well. From the flag pole at the stern of the vessel is the red ensign of the British flagged merchant fleet. And on the side of the bow, as you walked up, you noticed that it said Amy's Pride is the name of the ship. As you get onto the deck and look around, you hear a big booming voice saying, "Aha! Welcome aboard, me hearty!" As a fairly squat, portly, large dwarf walks out of a hatch. He has an obvious cyber leg, full cyber leg, not a peg leg. It is a cyber leg.
Is it styled to look like wood?
Yeah. He doesn't have a parrot on his shoulder, but he does have a obvious cyber arm. It's the opposite one. It's his left leg and his right arm.
Does it have a hook?
No, he doesn't have a hook. He has a hand.
Okay.
He has 2 hands, actually. One of them's mechanical. He does have an eye patch, but it's sort of folded up, and he's wearing a sort of a cheap costume shop hat and a very authentic, good quality greatcoat. It looks like it might even be a Berwick official greatcoat, or possibly a military surplus Royal Naval Arctic greatcoat. It's a very, very substantive, very, very high quality coat. He has an armored vest underneath it, much like the salty sea dog at the bottom of the gangplank. He has what looks like a Remington room sweeper in a holster on his hip, and he has what look like at least 3 knives about his person. One of them on his vest, like the guy below, one of them on his hip, and another one looks like it's side on the small of his back. Actually, that one looks like it could be a machete.
Are they good quality knives?
They are good quality knives. They actually. Do you have any knives skills?
I have blades at 6.
Okay, give me a blades plus logic. Sorry, blades plus intuition.
At 7 hits. Limit of 6 on my mental.
Okay. Yes. They look like Cougar fine blades with custom grips, and they look like they are customized sheaths, which should facilitate, or which will facilitate readying the weapons quickly. Quick draw holsters, basically, for blades.
Nice.
His arm is it's sort of an army green, and his leg is it's kind of a weird color. It's almost a vomit tan brown color.
Thought it was Captain Silver.
He takes your hand in his big, bulked out, beefy mechanics. Yes, you must be the crew of security specialists that my friend Eric sent. He cast an experienced eye over. This is I hope you have your sea legs. Excellent. Please come with me. We have some business to discuss. He leads you into the superstructure through the hatch he came out of, and up a couple of ladders. Well, up a flight of stairs and a ladder to what looks like a sort of a sea cabin area. It's basically a bunk, a small table, and that's about it. And he passes that into what looks like a mess room, wardroom type, with a folding table and bench seats and a coffee machine. Would you ladies and gents care for some soy calf?
Sure.
He goes to the urn on the side, very, very heavily secured to the side and the worktop, and pours out 7 mugs of what looks like, well, it is soy calf. It's black soy calf, but it's almost, well, it is thicker than normal soy calf. It's got a slightly more viscous plop as it hits the cups. He hands it to each of you in turn and sits down. So
Death.
it is soy calf with some hickory, some sandalwood, and a few other sort of aromatic herb spice type things. I'm not sure what the exact word is for those. In a specific blend, which you suspect is a sort of a his traditional seaman's coffee type, naval coffee type. Actually, it's quite nice. This particular blend of soy calf complements the herbs and what spices or whatever they're called in the blend. It's very, very nice, but it is a little bit thicker than you would expect. It's not treacle thick, but it's sort of a runny soup thick, but it's quite nice.
So as Venus is the only one who's taken a sip of it yet, she gets a message over DNI saying, "I don't think you can drink that. Can you actually drink that?" With a question mark at the end, of course.
Thank you. Yes, it's my father's special blend. He learned to make it when he was serving at Her Majesty's pleasure in the Navy. It is. It's apparently it fortifies you against the harshness of the sea. I just think it's great tasting coffee, personally. Pleased to meet you, Venus, and all the others.
While I had that conversation about it's actually drinkable, Farron would have took a sip out of it too, and apparently it's drinkable.
It is.
Something else. No.
It is a very nice blend of soy calf. It is not a flavor that you would expect to work well with soy calf, but it is good, strong quality soy calf that you feel will stand you in good stead at sea.
Oh, well, Lycan is not afraid of the calf. It's pirate soy calf. Still try it out.
It's not pirate soy calf. It's the red ensign on the back of this boat. This is not a pirate ship. It's a fully flagged, legitimate merchant vessel.
He does, and Lycan is having trouble with a straight face. So some very silly jokes.
Like you recognize, or you recognize the taste of this soy calf as a slight variation on a soy calf blend that you were exceptionally familiar with from your previous occupation.
So she exclaims, "Oh, this is very nice."
So I guess you fine folks will be wondering why I've asked you down here. Yes, a pickup. I'm sure Eric filled you in on my side gig.
Only the most essential.
Okay, I'm on my way to Gibraltar. However, I need to make a detour to the Mid-Atlantic to pick up some cargo. I have reason to believe that someone does not want me to collect this cargo. Not me personally, but someone does not want this cargo collected or delivered. I would like you guys to accompany us as additional security. My crew are merchantmen. Very few of us have served in the senior service or have extensive experience in that kind of voyage. Typically, we are able to avoid entanglements because Amy's pride looks so ordinary. We have in this particular instance, I believe that may not be sufficient. So I would like some extra hands who are more familiar with blowing the scurvy-ridden knaves out of the water.
Yeah, that sounds like something we can help with.
It is illicit cargo, recently liberated from a corporate lab, and the corporation would like it back. Until you accept the contract, I'm not prepared to offer any more information than that, for obvious reasons. But yeah, I that is the basis of why I've called you 6 here.
How many A's are we talking here?
2 weeks at sea, maximum.
I meant how many A's are we talking here? Answering to his comment about corporation.
Oh, 3.
Right.
Indeed. I believe that is typically what happens at this stage. Yes, approximately 2 weeks. If you would like to stay in Gibraltar, you're more than welcome to leave then. That would only be about 11 days. I was planning on bringing you back here to Southampton. So yes, a nice 14-day cruise, and you get paid for it.
It's gonna be a tough one, but I'm piqued. My interest is piqued, so I'll let you guys veto it if you feel like it. But I would take it. Also, if he's like Eric vetted him, so that's good.
I'm not really sure about the AAA Corp stuff, but if
There's no way of having a picnic, above water, so you are safe.
I'm going to hold you on that, and if something happens, anyway, it's your decision. If you want to do it, if you guys want to do it, I'm.
Nobody buys rocket launchers just in case, but for the purpose of negotiation, I think you can go ahead with accepting it.
Yeah, I signed up for it.
Okay, that seems fair. A chummer of mine has, through a friend of a friend of a friend, acquired some research, a prototype and some other material from a lab in Aslan. This has proven to be somewhat hot. Asset Energy Corporate Security are keen to recover this. Thankfully, everyone along the chain has managed to keep one step ahead. There has been some collateral damage in its wake, but hopefully that won't be a problem. My leg is to collect it from a rendezvous mid-Atlantic and take it along with a regular shipment of goods to Gibraltar, where it will be handed to my customer, my client, who will arrange for it to be transported through Europe to its final destination, of which I do not know. I do not even know who the client is working for. I was just hired to bring it this side of the Atlantic. It will have been at sea for all of about 3 weeks by the time we actually accept the cargo. As I said, there have been a couple of near misses along the chain. Thankfully, they haven't gotten the item. Otherwise, we wouldn't have it. But there have been a few fatalities.
Friendly fatality?
Mainly collateral damage, from what I've been told. I don't know, but I've been told it was standard as to Energy Corporate Security. Bit trigger happy, a bit heavy on the heavy weapons, hence the collateral damage, but nothing out of the ordinary. This is as technology after all. They don't do it properly. They didn't board a ship. It's been ferried via cutout across land to the dock. It was attacked once at a desert safe house, and another at the dock before it sets sail. I am not aware of any issues since the cargo made it to international waters. Hence why I'm not hugely concerned, but it pays to be prepared. Preparedness is next to godliness, as my granddad used to. Amy's pride. None. A few of my hands have long rifles, but mainly throwback bolt actions, and I think little Jimmy has what did he call it? I can't remember. It's a automatic of some kind. I don't know.
Let me guess. Little Jimmy is a troll.
No, he's just a child.
That's disappointing.
Oh God. But does the ship have the necessary rescue stuff like that in case something happens?
Of course,
That's
it would
good
be
to know.
illegal not to.
Why are they throwbacks? Your weapons.
A lot of military or customs are becoming ever more reliant upon drones and matrix methodologies. So I found having throwbacks is easier to avoid scrutiny. They can't find a throwback because it cannot transmit in the matrix. With the tide tomorrow morning around 4 a.m. Yeah, he wants to leave in about 12 hours.
Do modern ships still pay attention to the tide?
Sorry?
Do modern ships still pay attention to the tides, like for docking and undocking and all that stuff?
Yeah. It's not a huge deal anymore because of modern technology, but it is still a factor that any seaman is going to take into account.
Okay, fair enough.
Indeed. I was thinking 1,000 new yen per day per person. Well, it does include room and board. I'm not expecting you to pay for food. He shakes his head as he sucks his breath in over his teeth. Oh, that's a bit much, young lady. Okay.
Can I
Okay.
support her? I mean, I have negotiation.
If you say something in character, yes.
I'm not gonna help her in character because Lycan is not a negotiation type.
Yeah, I mean,
But I suggested in general that you could say that 1,000 days is fine, and we should get more if something happens, because something is going to happen. But
it is a AAA co-op. There might be a big cost involved in ammunition and other stuff that we have to prepare, like Venus already said. And who knows what they will bring this time if the cargo is being transported again. Maybe they got so fed up with fucking it up all the time before that they now go full ham and bring everything they got.
That will just that we get sole rights to the bounty on any blood mage.
oh yeah,
That's very unlikely. Yes.
that is a very good idea.
Yeah, thinking about blood mages, if they bring blood mage, then it would make this whole job even more dangerous than it already is against a AAA co-op.
Well, Cat's idea was mostly to make it look like a possibility, so as to make our presence more necessary. He was basically mentioning something really scary to hope that the captain coughs up some more money.
Yep. So those of you that are assisting Venus, please roll your negotiation or default into charisma.
2 hits. But we get enough time to sleep, right?
1 hit.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no, I can't get more hits because... Okay, 3 hits total.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Your skill is going to be less than... Okay. So he got 6, so that is 5 net hits. Okay. You go backwards and forwards for several minutes. A few of you chipping in, and you're driving a hard bargain. He spends a lot of time sucking his breath in over his teeth. Eventually, you settle on 5,000 up front each, with an additional 10,000 upon return to Southampton.
Nice.
If there are blood mages, then he will split the bounty 50-50. So you guys get 50% of the bounty. He keeps the other 50.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. No. Sorry. He 5,000 up front and 1,500 is what I meant.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. With those hits, you got an extra % on the thing. He was going to offer you a few grand up front anyway, so he's basically doubled that. And he's agreed to a 50-50 split of any blood mage bounties. Well, he's saying worst case 14 days. He's obviously with various factors and stuff, he doesn't know if it's going to be a few days shorter than that. 5,000 Yeah, 5,000 now, and then the balance upon return to Southampton. You're what? There's 6 of you and 20 of them. He says that he says we can discuss that once we know how much, if any, there is a bounty.
Kind of hope not.
Yeah, they're paying us to do that job. I have one of those.
Wasn't possible.
Banshee and Lycan both know how to use rocket things.
Yeah, that's right. I always forget I actually know how to rocket.
Why
Because I
do you
didn't
know
in the
how to
beginning.
use one of those? Have you ever? Seriously?
Well, maybe we should set up a team fund, sort of things. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we
that's
can-
what your
We can
foot
discuss
reps
the details at a later date when we are not, boring our Johnson. AKA do it during the week.
Okay. Captain Adams hands you over a certified cred stick with 30,000 nuyen on it, that being the upfront payment. And he says to be here with all of your equipment at 3 a.m.
Okay.
We will.
It sounds like a lot of
Sounds like a lot of what?
fun.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love a pleasure cruise?
Yeah. During winter.
I actually hope something's going to. Oh, and Lycan expresses that as well. She hopes there will be blood meat.
Ironic.
The Tops Company Inc. has sole ownership of the names, logo, artwork, marks, photographs, sounds, audio, video, and or any other proprietary material used in connection with the game Shadowrun. The Tops Company Inc. has granted permission to Manor and Steel to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and or proprietary information for promotional and informational purposes on its website, and does not endorse and is not affiliated with Manor and Steel in any official capacity whatsoever. The artwork used in Manor and Steel was produced by Valgrind. The theme tune for Manor and Steel was created by Chris Glidden. Manor and Steel is created under a Creative Commons 4.0 attribution license. If you use any part of the show, please give us credit.